Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet.
Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A funny Friday with episodes of the Charlie McCarthy Show, the Great Gildersleeve. We're also going to take a look at what took place on Sunday, April 25th, 1943. Groucho Marx and You Bet Your Life, Ozzie and Harriet, and Too Much Change, and Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce with an episode of The Couple Next Door. That's what's coming up on this Friday, 25th day of the month, April, the 115th day of the year, 250 days left. Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe, published on this date in 1719. 1792, the French national anthem, La Marseillaise, is composed by Claude-Joseph Rouget de Lise. The French national anthem, composed on this date in 1792. 1859, ground broken for the Suez Canal. In 1898, the U.S. declared war on Spain in the Spanish-American War. New York became the first state to require automobile license plates in 1901. It was on this date in 1944, the United Negro College Fund Incorporated. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. And the 50 nations gathered in San Francisco on this date in 1945 to begin the United Nations Conference on International Organizations.
The Conference of the United Nations on International Organization is now convened.
U.S. diplomat Alger Hiss, who would later be accused of being a Soviet spy. The convention resulted in the creation of the United Nations Charter. As North Vietnamese forces closed in on the South Vietnamese capital Saigon, the Australian embassy closed and evacuated on this date in 1975, almost 10 years to the day since the first Australian troop commitments to South Vietnam. Meanwhile, in 1982, Israel completed its withdrawal from the Sinai Peninsula per the Camp David Accords. In 1983, young Samantha Smith of Manchester, Maine, received a reply to a letter she had written to Soviet leader Yuri Andropov asking him, "Why do you want to conquer the whole world, or at least our country?" Andropov denied this and invited Samantha to visit the Soviet Union, which she later did. As Samantha said that day, that's not all Andropov wrote.
He told me that I resembled Becky Thatcher in the book Tom Sawyer, and I thought it was kind of funny to have that in a letter from Yuri Andropov.
Samantha Smith hit the talk show circuit, then made her acting debut playing Robert Wagner's daughter on the show Lime Street. Soon after, she was killed with her father and 6 others on August 25th of 1985 in a plane crash in Maine. She was just 13 years old. In Israel on this date in 1988, John Demanjanjuk sentenced to death for war crimes committed in World War II. 1989, James Richardson freed from a Florida prison 21 years after being wrongfully convicted of the murder of his 7 children. In 2001, President George W. Bush pledged U.S. military support in the event of a Chinese attack on Taiwan. In 2014, the Flint water crisis began when officials at Flint, Michigan switched the city's water supply to the Flint River, and that led to lead and bacterial contamination. Politics ramped up as on this date in 2019, Joe Biden entered the 2020 presidential race.
We are in the battle for the soul of this nation.
The election saw the highest voter turnout by percentage since 1900. Biden received more than 81 million votes, the most votes ever cast for a presidential candidate in U.S. history, leading to accusations of election tampering. In 2022, Elon Musk reached an agreement to buy Twitter for roughly $44 billion, promising a more lenient touch to policing content on the social media platform.
It's really important that people have the reality and the perception that they are able to speak freely within the bounds of the law.
The platform, formerly hostile to conservatives, set to be more welcoming to all people. And it was on this date in 2023, 4 years after he announced his run for the 2020 election, he announced in a video he would be running for re-election, President Biden did, in 2024, asking voters to give him more time to finish this job and extend the run of America's oldest president for another 4 years.
When I ran for president 4 years ago, I said we're in a battle for the soul of America, and we still are. The question we're facing is whether in the years ahead we have more freedom or less freedom, more rights or fewer.
After what everybody deemed was a horrible debate performance against former President Trump, he would withdraw from the race on July 21st of 2024. Passing away on this date in history, actor George Sanders, game show host Art Fleming, actress-dancer Ginger Rogers, theatrical producer David Merrick, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, the rapper, also Boris Pickett, he did the Monster Mash, and from Maude, and also, B. Arthur, from Maude and the Golden Girls, and actress-singer Dorothy Provine, and passing away 2 years ago today, Harry Belafonte. This is the birth date of a Russian composer Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky, also Nobel Prize winner Guglielmo Marconi, journalist Edward R. Murrow, the wonderful Ella Fitzgerald, a radio and TV personality Robert Q. Lewis, musician Albert King, and basketball legend Meadowlark Lemon.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
Actor Al Pacino turns 85 years old today.
Women. What could you say? The hair. They say the hair is everything, you know.
From Scent of a Woman, Al Pacino, 85 today. You remember her best from Rocky. Talia Shire is 79.
Do you know what everybody says? It's suicide. You've seen him. You know how strong he is. You can't win.
From Rocky IV, Talia Shire, 79. You remember all these voices from The Simpsons. My Hank Azaria, he's 61.
Is I.P. Freely here? Hey, everybody, I.P. Freely. Okay, folks, show's over. Nothing to see here.
As Mo the bartender and Chief Wiggums, Hank Azaria from The Simpsons, 61 years old today. From Firefly and Suits, Gina Torres is 56.
That's enough. You're not calling the shots. I am.
From Suits, Gina Torres is 56 today. Bridget Jones' Diary in Chicago, Renee Zellweger, also 56 today.
I'm going to get a place, and they're going to live with me.
From the movie Judy, Renee Zellweger, 56. From My Name is Earl, Jason Lee, 55. And from The Last House on the Left, Sarah Paxton is 37. Those just a few of the people celebrating the 25th day of April is their birthday. If this is your birthday...
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
And our focus this Friday is going to be on a Sunday. April 25th, 1943. We'll start off a little later. We'll go to Summerfield, see what's going on with the Great Gildersleeve. But we're going to start off with Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy from 82 years ago, April 25th, 1943. That's next.
Civil defense is common sense. Hi, this is Tony Bennett. Make sure you're prepared if a nuclear attack ever comes.
Alrighty, on this Friday, we're going to start off on this on Sunday, April 25th, 1943, in the middle of U.S. involvement in World War II, 82 years ago, an episode of The Charlie McCarthy Show.
The makers of Chase and Sanborn Coffee and Tender Leaf Tea present Edgar Bergen, Ray Noble and his orchestra, Dale Evans, the sportsman, our guests Irene Dunne and Bill Thompson, and Charlie McCarthy.
Happy Easter, everybody. Happy Easter, Bergen.
Well, happy Easter to you too, Charlie.
Bergen, if you lay any eggs today, be sure they're colored.
Yes, I
will. Tell me, Bergen, are we still being heard all over the world?
Yes, Charlie, every Sunday by shortwave to our boys in the services in Africa, England, and the Aleutians and South Seas, and wherever they may be, all over the world.
Say, well, being that this is a special occasion, may I say something to them?
Well, I think they'll be all right, Charlie. Now, you go right ahead.
Yes. Well, this is Charlie McCarthy speaking, fellas, and saying keep up the good work, and we'll clip 'em, so help us, we'll move.
That was well said, Charlie.
But, why, Kay Francis. The last I heard of you, you were in Africa.
Yes, and I was in Africa the last time I heard you.
Oh, I don't talk that loud.
Probably short wave, silly.
Oh. Say, how about you giving us a report on your trip to Africa, huh?
Well, I can tell you this, Charlie. Our boys in Africa and everywhere else will continue to clip 'em and mow 'em down, providing they have equipment. You know, big wars cost big money, and we're fighting the biggest war in history. We're dealing in figures that stagger the imagination. We can't look for bargains when we must give our army of 11 million men the best of training, clothing, food, and medical treatment. Now our government is asking for $13 billion, and it wants it now. It needs it now. It needs it now to avenge the death of such men as Colin Kelly, Buzz Wagner, the 5 Sullivan brothers, and our captured airmen who were murdered by the Japanese in Tokyo. We must resolve that here at home we will measure up in our own way to their faith, courage, and devotion. We can prove our devotion by buying bonds of the Second War Loan. We must buy $13 billion worth. Can we do it? Certainly. Will we do it? The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is up to you.
Thank you, Kay.
Do you think the boys over there are still listening to the shortwave, Bergen?
Yes, I'm sure they are.
Well, then here's another message, fellas. We'll buy the bonds and you bomb the bums. Yeah. You know, it's such a wonderful thing that... It's really a wonderful thing, shortwave, the way it gets around, and yeah, sure does sneak all around, and yeah. How does it work, Bergen?
Well, shortwave?
Yes, if you don't mind, yes.
Shortwave?
Yes. I didn't mean to wake you up. No.
Well, it's quite complicated.
Yes, I've heard that. I understand it's so complicated it takes 2 men to understand it.
Well, no. First of all, let me ask you this. What do you know about radio?
Well, I ask you first. No. What do I know?
Yes.
Well, I'd say principally nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
But I do know that 95% of the people turn it on before listening to it.
Oh, you do? Yeah, that's fine.
I figure that out myself. Yeah. I can sure waste time, can't I?
And that's all you know about it?
Yes, sir, that's all, yes. I really hate myself for not knowing more, but that's the way it is.
Yes.
There you are.
Yes. Well, of course, Charlie, if that's all you know about it, then that's all you know about it.
Yeah. Well, now, there's a hunk of logic for you. I thought I said the dumbest thing, but you taught me. Yeah. Now, I'll try and explain about ether waves so that you'll understand it. Well, that's nice of you. And while you're at it, explain it so that you'll understand it, too. Yeah. I suppose, Charlie, you've thrown a stone in a pond, haven't you? A stone? Yes. In a pond? Yes. Have you? Well, yes. I did once. You did once. Yes. You did throw it. Yes, I did. I did, and I'm glad I did. No. You did it, yes. Now, what did you see going in all directions when you threw that stone? All going in all directions, yes. Frogs. No. No, you saw waves. Don't tell me what I saw. I saw frogs. No, Charlie. I only know what I saw. Yeah. And Skinny and I, we had them for dinner, too. No. I insist that you saw waves. It's frogs. No, frogs. All right. Now to continue. Saw frogs. Yes, I know. All right, so I saw waves. You saw waves. That's right. But they tasted like frogs. I don't give up, you know. Nothing wishy-washy about me, you know. I stick to it. I don't care how wrong I am. Well, anyway, what's the frog pond got to do with shortwave on the radio? Why don't you just stick to the facts? Well, you see, Charlie. No, I don't. All right. The waves, or shall we call them ripples? Let's do. All right, we'll call them ripples. Isn't that wonderful? The ripples in the pond can be compared to electrical impulses. Oh, yeah. So it's done by electricity? Yeah. You mean electricity? Do you know anything about that? Electricity? Yes. Well, no. Well, for example, there's the ohm. You mean you'll be so nice to come home to? No, I don't mean that at all. How about be it ever so humble? There's no place like what? No.
That's stupidity. Pardon me, Charlie, old boy. You have the title of that song all wrong, really.
We're not talking about songs, Ray. We're talking about electricity.
Oh, electricity, huh?
Yes.
Oh, it's a perfectly ripping idea, I think.
Yes.
You know, it always amazes me the way electricity works all those gadgets.
Yeah.
Especially those jukeboxes.
He's going to clear up a lot, you know that.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Jukeboxes?
Yes, they're uncanny. I mean, you push button number 22, and it's just amazing how they do it, really it is.
Yeah. Well, do what?
Play number 18.
Yeah. That's a great help. Thank you. Well, now, I'll try to explain shortwave in another way. Go ahead. You know that radio I gave you, Charlie? Yes. Now, what can you get on that? Never more than $5. No, I'm talking about broadcast. Now, you get police calls. Yeah. And you get Morse code, don't you? Well, sure. Well, they're shortwave. No. Yes. My goodness. What do you think of that? So that's shortwave, yes. Oh, Bergen, you are so smart. Well, thank you, Charlie. You really are. I don't know how you do it. With your intelligence. I see, yeah. Well, you see, I do know quite a bit about shortwave. I used to be a ham. Used to be? No. All amateur radio operators are called hams. You should be ashamed of yourself to know so little about radio when it plays such an important part in our everyday lives. Yes. Why, do you know statistics show that there are more radios than bathtubs in the world? Dirty world, ain't it? Yeah.
It used to be if a cup of coffee didn't quite ring the bell, we figured the next one would taste better and let it go at that. Not so today. Today, every cup of coffee we drink has double duty to do. You want coffee you can depend upon, all the flavor you can get. So get all the flavor you can, every time. Get Chase & Sanborn coffee. The times demand this richer blend that never lets you down because now, during rationing, there's no time to take chances with anything second-rate. Don't risk disappointment. Get coffee that satisfies with deep-down, wholehearted, delicious flavor to make up for the cups you miss. And then, too, there's so much to do these days. Let Chase & Sanborn help. Now, to make sure that
Chase and Sanborn meets, and more than meets, these new exacting standards, we're turning out the richest, most flavorful blend of our entire history. So every time you use a coffee ration coupon out of your book, get full flavor value. The choice is yours. Ask for Chase and Sanborn. Now, lots of other folks will be asking, too, of course. It's the flavor choice of millions. So, under pressure of the times, your grocer may have sold out. In that case, please understand, and in fairness to all, please cooperate. Then, next time, ask again for Chase and Sanborn coffee.
Ladies and gentlemen, every Easter, it's our custom...
Hello, Edgar. Happy Easter, Bunny.
Well, hello, Bill Thompson. Bill, it's always a pleasure to say hello to you.
Well, I'm not here to say hello, Edgar. I just came in to say goodbye. I'm off to Flageria.
Oh, yes, Flageria, yes. Well, what takes you back there, Bill? The customary goodwill mission, I suppose?
No, it's business this time. I've written a scenario that's going to be produced by Flageria's thriving new motion picture studio, Metro Goldwyn Brattletrad. Yes. It's a native Flagerian Western, all about cowboys and Indians and stuff like that sort of thing. You know.
Do they have cowboys and Indians in Flageria?
Oh, yes.
They do.
Yeah, they're to be found in western Flagerian states of Texas Spranfill, Arizona Filt, and New Mexicrondon Tail. Not to be confused with Old Mexicrondon Tail.
Oh, of course not, no. That's south of the border, Bod, isn't it?
Yes, south of the border.
Now, about this scenario of yours, it is one of those blood and thunder dramas, isn't it?
No, not blood and thunder, no. Just thunder. The hero is anemic, you see. The title in Flagerian, of course, is Bras Neftepurum Hadi Happen Ho Ho Ha Ho Ho. Translated, that means Buffalo Bill meets Andy Hardy in Gimbel's basement.
Well, it must be a very interesting story, Bill, and I'd like to read it sometime.
Well, I don't know about that. It's written in Flagerian, Edgar, and I'd have to translate it for you, and it has several characters, and they're all in Flagerian, too, and I'll have to read all the parts myself.
You're going to read all the parts yourself? Well, do you think you can do it?
I don't think. I know.
I don't think you know either, but go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Well, some Western music, if you please, Mr. Noble. This is the West, the real West, the far West, the West Pole, where they live by the unwritten law because nobody knows how to write. As the rays of the sun steal across the enchanted mesa, we take you to the bunkhouse of the Bar Z Ranch. The sheriff is talking to the foreman, Curly Dawson. Hello, Curly. Did you hear the news? No, Sheriff. What's the news? Shorty Carson has escaped from Tehachapi. He has? Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. So now we leave the bunkhouse of the Bar Z Ranch. We go to the enchanted desert where across the arid wastes comes the lone figure of a man on horseback. He gallops up to a signpost and stops. Take it easy, Daisy, old horse. I'll take a squint at this sign and see what it says. The Bar Z Ranch is only 125 miles more to go. My goodness, what's the matter? My trusty old steed fainted on me. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that 125 miles so loud. I'm tactless, I guess. Here, horsey old kid. Kid, speak to me. Horsey, are you all right? Well, okay, Daisy. You've carried me many a mile, so why shouldn't I carry you? Come on, Daisy, up on my back now. Up to Daisy. That's it. Easy does it. Stop blowing your breath down my neck. You're tickling me. Come on now, old pal. We'll make it. On to the Bar Z Ranch. Such loyalty of man to animal is touching. We go back now to the Bar Z Ranch. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. Now we take you to Dry Rot Canyon, where Horse-Faced Harry is talking to a Confederate. The Confederate speaks. I'm tired of wearing this gray uniform. Why can't you get me something more modern?
There's no time for that. Shorty has escaped from Tehachapi. Let's get in the flivver here and warn him.
Okay, start her up. Well, something's wrong with the magneto. Contact.
Start her again. What's that coming out of the exhaust pipe?
My gosh, butter.
Shucks, I must have used the wrong ration book.
We leave the two figures working over their automobile and go back to the Bar Z Ranch to see what is happening.
No, yeah. No, yeah. No, yeah. Well, what are we going to do if Shorty does get here?
You and I know it means trouble for you. But you can feel safe. I'm the law and I'm behind you.
I'd feel safer if you were in front of me.
Hey, look out that window. A man carrying a horse.
I see it. It's a horse riding man back.
It's Shorty. Hi, Shorty. What do you want? Stand aside, Sheriff. It's not you I want. It's that little rat, Charlie. Shorty, you're carrying a gun.
Hey, can't we let bygones go bys?
You see this gun in my hands? Take a good look at it.
What are you going to do?
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You sold me this rifle 3 years ago. There ain't no trigger on it. I want my money back.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah?
No.
Oh.
Voices chattering, footsteps pattering, traffic clattering then. Oh, so unexpectedly, suddenly, magically, you could hear a pin drop there in the crowd. One look at you, first thing I knew, I stumbled on a cloud, softly as a raindrop that's falling from a treetop. I listened to my heart drop right there before you. What a lovely meeting there in the hush. I felt a thrill, one that I still can't brush aside. Oh, fate alone ordained it. How else has anything explained it? Could hear a pin drop when love dropped in.
What a lovely meeting there in the heart. I felt a thrill, one that I still can't brush aside.
How else has anything explained it? For you could hear a pin drop when love dropped in. I felt a thrill when love dropped in.
In buying anything these days, two questions are uppermost. First, how good is it? And second, just how useful? On both those counts, Tenderleaf brand T-balls walk away with top honors. So good and so useful that today they outsell every other kind. The standards of the American housewife demand those finer T-balls. They've become the accepted modern way to enjoy finer tea. Tenderleaf brand tea balls bring you the flavor of the choice, young, tender tea leaves, such as you get in Tenderleaf tea put up in packages, too. Now, if tea grew right in your own garden, and you could select each leaf for yourself, you'd pass up the old leaves down low on the plant and take the little half-grown ones every time, because the flavor is so much richer in the small leaves out toward the branch tips. And it's that delightful fragrance and more satisfying flavor that you get in improved Tenderleaf brand tea balls. They're made with tasteless filter paper, too. That's still another reason for their overwhelming popularity. This week, serve tea for breakfast and at other meals, too. Enjoy this finer blend. Ask your grocer for Tenderleaf brand tea in packages or in improved Tenderleaf tea balls.
Bergen.
What is it, Charlie?
Doesn't Irene Dunne look lovely in her Easter outfit?
Yes, she certainly does.
Yeah.
Very lovely.
Yeah. Bergen, I think that love bug has finally got me.
Is that so?
Every time I look at her, I say to myself, Dunne is the one.
Is that so? Yeah. Well, you've really got it bad, haven't you?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Well, I'll have to tell Irene.
No.
Irene... Irene. I've got to tell you something that Charlie just said. It's rather amusing.
Really? Well, what did Charlie say?
Well,
Go ahead, tell her.
Stool pigeon, yeah. Well, Irene, I think Charlie has a case of puppy love.
Puppy love?
Yeah. Woof, woof.
Well, now, that's not unusual for a boy his age. Who's the young lady, Charlie?
You.
Me?
Yeah. I fought it off as long as I could, Irene. But I know it's really a real thing this time, and I'm in love.
Oh, well, now, that's very flattering, Charlie, but I don't think you know what love is.
Well, well, scientists don't know what electricity is either, but they know what to do with it.
Well, you know
that's right.
Irene, this isn't anything new with Charlie. He's been talking about you ever since I took him to see you in Showboat.
Oh, that was a wonderful picture, and you were so good. You know,
like it?
yes, I'd love to have a showboat of my own sometime, with you as my star attraction.
Well, showboats are lots of fun, Charlie. Mm-hmm. And if you ever get one, I'll be there.
Good. I can see us now, floating down the Mississippi in our little showboat. I'm a-standing on the deck with the salt spray a-slapping me into kisser.
And the paddle wheels are a-chugging and a-chugging.
Yeah, what are they chugging so hard for?
We're going uphill.
Oh. Well, Irene, it sure is fun being on a showboat, isn't it?
I told you it'd be fun.
Yeah. How do you feel about going from Jerome Kern's showboat to Charlie McCarthy showboat?
Well, it's a big jump.
Yeah?
From Kern to corn.
Yeah, oh. Well, I think I'd better get my makeup on. By the way, what show are we giving tonight?
Tonight, Uncle Tom's Cabin or Beat Me Simon with a Buggy Whip.
Oh. Topsy and Eva, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, the way we murder that thing.
We'll murder.
Oh, we really crippled it out
we'll
there.
say.
Yeah. We should call it Autopsy and Eva, the way we... Irene, what part am I playing tonight?
Well, you're going to play Topsy.
Oh, good. Then I don't have to wash. What part is Bergen playing?
Oh, we'll just let him be himself.
Oh, well, he deserves something better than that. Well, it's showtime. Let's get started. Is the audience in the theater?
Yep, he's here.
Oh, so it's one of those things again, huh? Well, then on with the show.
Get your programs here. Get your programs. You can't tell one program from another program without a program.
I think we can do without him. I don't like him. As the curtain rises, we find little Eva, a fragile little thing, gazing out the window. She's not feeling so good. The music isn't feeling so good either. Raise the curtain, Merton.
It is so beautiful sitting here by the window, gazing out into the fields of daffodils and pumpernickels. I wonder where Topsy is. Ouch! Oh, there you are. Hello, Topsy.
Hello, Terry. Hello, Miss Eva. As wicked I is.
You certainly is. Do you know what happens to bad little girls like you?
I ain't telling. If you want to know, find out for yourself.
Ah, Topsy, why can't you be good like me?
Like you? Well, what about you pushing your uncle off the front porch and giving your grandmother hot foot? Yeah, that don't sound like a little evil to me.
Well, I've been eating vitamins.
Well, you better wean off them just a wee bit.
Hello, children.
Well, Uncle Tom.
Yeah. I got shoes, you got shoes, all us children got shoes.
This is before rationing, of course.
Uncle Tom, how are you, Uncle Tom?
Uncle Tom got a hand. He'll be hard to work with. Please, folks, please.
Not so good, Miss Eva. Not so good. Lawsy.
You certainly are, Bergen. More of it, huh? And who are you?
I'm Simon Legree, the roofest-toofest villain in the whole suit.
Well, shut my mouth.
Save me, children, save me.
Ah, there you are, Uncle Tom. I've come to take you away. I'm an absolute cad, you know.
Well, we knew you weren't an actor.
Save me, children, I'm a-losing my freedom by yumping yiminy.
You're losing your accent, too.
Yeah, remember, Bergen, you're Uncle Tom, not Uncle Axel. All right.
Get your tomatoes here. Nice, unfresh tomatoes. You can't show the actors your appreciation without a tomato.
You get out of here with those tomatoes. On with the show, Simon Legreasy.
Oh, yes. Where was I? Oh, yes, I was being mean to Uncle Tom, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Uncle Tom, I beat you last night. I beat you the night before, and I'm going to beat you tonight.
How can you be so careful?
Oh, what's a little game of gin rummy between friends?
Oh, please don't be mean to Uncle Thomas, Mr. Legree. Have you no respect for his old gray hair?
Hair? Well, that does it. This is the worst job of casting I've ever seen.
You're right, Charlie. This kind of acting's enough to sink a showboat.
Yeah. By golly, it did it, too.
I think we hit a sandbar.
We're always hitting a sandbar. Look at the water coming in, too.
Get your water wings here, folks. You can't see the rest of the show without water wings.
Let's go, Charlie. Let's get out of here.
Hey, wait a minute. Think of the audience for a second. Seconds up. Come on, swim for shore.
With us again next week when Charlie and all of us will be on hand to greet our special guest, Barbara Stanwyck. Meanwhile, when it's coffee you're buying, ask for Chase & Sanborn coffee. When it's tea, Tenderleaf brand tea. Chase & Sanborn coffee, Tenderleaf tea. Two favorites for days like these. Ask your grocer for them both. This is Buddy Twist saying goodnight from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
8 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday, April 25th, 1943. Charlie McCarthy with his special guests Bill Thompson and Irene Dunne. Coming up next, we'll take a look at what led the newspapers on that date, 82 years ago today.
Two weeks, 14 days, 326 hours. Every second that your family could be exposed to radiation after a nuclear attack. Radiation that kills.
To survive, a fallout shelter is a necessity. Equipment and supplies are essential.
Now, Survive All Shelters, one of the nation's leading manufacturers of fallout shelters, offers a basic equipment kit with
a Conelrad high-powered radio, transistor operated for long battery life,
a complete, fully stocked first aid kit,
a heavy-duty fire extinguisher, emergency water containers, a chemical toilet for protection against contamination and disease,
extra strength saran and rayon bunks,
a radiation meter and individual dosimeters.
For protection every second of each hour of every day. See a Survive All Shelter now.
Classic Radio Theater, I'm Wyatt Cox. We're taking a look at Sunday, April 25th, 1943. And in the newspapers 82 years ago today, these were some of the headlines. Swedish government announcing the discovery of German mines in Swedish territorial waters. They sent a blunt note to Berlin yesterday warning Germany about the mine laying and expressing dissatisfaction over the German answer to a protest against the firing of the Swedish submarine Draken, firing upon that submarine by the German merchant ship Altkirch. Tunisian Air Axis forces believed left to their fate by Rommel in North Africa's most widespread battle. Americans shifted from south to north as Allies began final close-in for kill with advances at several points. Germans halted efforts in expanding bridgehead in Kuban Valley of Caucasus because of the heavy losses. Russians destroy 18 Nazi planes in the northwestern region, 18 others hit in Donetsk bases. American planes raid Japanese at Mundan in the Solomon Islands and Ricat Bay on Santa Isabel Island. Sweden says her Navy will take measures against any German forces laying mines in Swedish territorial waters or firing on Swedish vessels. American troops who sped secretly to battle from southern Tunisia and French forces on the northern coast closing on Bizerte from 3 directions yesterday, and the British were overrunning strategic Long-Stop Hill in their push towards Tunis against the rapidly shrinking Axis siege line. An explosives-laden ship sunk off Bayonne, New Jersey last night after it had caught fire. Police department broadcast a request that waterfront residents of Brooklyn, Staten Island, and New Jersey keep their windows open. The acting police commissioner, Louis Costuma, requested the warnings be given after the ship had burned for some time and been towed from its mooring at Jersey City to a point between the New Jersey and New York shores. Armed members of the illegal Irish Republican Army seized a Belfast movie theater last night and warned that American troops would become involved in pending Irish-British hostilities in Northern Ireland. The Anglo-American War Refugees Conference neared its final phase yesterday in Bermuda, with indications that American objections will overrule British proposals to establish a temporary refugee clearinghouse in North Africa. The War Department yesterday notified the parents of Kit Carson III, great-grandson of the famed Indian scout of the early West, that he had been taken prisoner by the Japanese. Now, in Algeria, Axis reversals in Africa already having political repercussions in Spain, where a strong movement is developing to pull Madrid completely away from the Rome-Berlin setup and establish a more democratic form of Spanish government. Senator Elmer Thomas, the Democrat of Oklahoma, yesterday made public statements from the Army and Navy opposing construction of a Florida barge canal at this time, on grounds it would require materials and men that could be used to better advantage elsewhere in the war program. The Office of War Information yesterday disclosed a squadron of American flyers stationed in the Pacific relaying a personal message letter to Premier Tojo requesting an improvement of Radio Tokyo programs. The letter, which is being forwarded through the International Red Cross, significantly addressed to Tojo in care of Air Raid Shelter 42, Tokyo, Japan. The Japanese word for 42 is shini, which also means death in that language. From Minneapolis, 2 men, both 23, who escaped from the federal detention headquarters at New Orleans, apprehended yesterday by Federal Bureau of Investigation agents and 4 members of the Minneapolis police force after a gun battle in which one of the criminals was wounded critically. The Office of Price Administration announced yesterday that motorists whose gas rations permit driving more than 240 miles a month will be eligible May 1st to buy top-grade tires, providing their present casings cannot be recapped. Forrest Turner, one of the leaders of last week's break of 25 prisoners from the Reidsville, Georgia State Prison, related after his capture that he intended to make his way to Canada and join the Canadian Army. In an interview, Turner said, "I feel just as patriotic as anybody about this war," and mentioned he had 4 brothers and 3 nephews in the armed services of the country. Judge Klein D. Stouter marveling at the power of advertising. He lost his Great Dane dog, inserted an ad for its return. Not only did this Great Dane come back the next day, but it brought a dachshund with it. Now the judge is advertising to get rid of the dachshund. Speaking of the dogs, Mrs. Jimmy Dorsey, wife of the famous orchestra leader, has announced in court and to the entire world she will defend her husband and his 3 dogs against all comers. Sued for over $4,000 for alleged damages, mostly by the dogs, to an apartment the menage had occupied, Mrs. Dorsey told the court not only were the dogs wonderful creatures, but they had been libeled in the charges. But she said she would abide by the court's decision. 2 of the dogs are Cocker Spaniels. Those some of the day's top news stories, as reported in the newspapers of Sunday, April 25th, 1943. On your radio, we just finished listening to Charlie McCarthy. We're going to go back an hour and a half earlier and hear from Harold Peary, the Great Gildersleeve.
What's with the basket, Mom? Picnic?
Nope, this is Grandma's pantry, modern version.
Great, Mom. Only what's it for?
Civil defense. And you're the one who brought the idea home from scout meeting. Here, help me check off the list. Fruit juice?
Yup.
Powdered milk?
Right.
Canned meats?
Yeah.
Into civil defense comes Grandma's pantry, the symbol of preparedness. Unexpected company? Grandma always had plenty for everyone.
No matter what unexpected disaster, your family should have a 7-day supply of food on hand, kept well protected in jars or tins, and safe in a shelter area.
In an emergency or during evacuation in case of enemy attack, it's too late to plan. You will have to depend on your own resources, on Grandma's pantry.
Assure the future. Know the 6 steps to survival. Make this year your family's year for civil defense. You take the first step.
Civil defense, an American tradition.
Never hurts to have that spare food around, especially if we get into supply chain issues, you know. Let's take a look at radio on this date in history. As we mentioned, Charlie McCarthy was on at 8 o'clock. We're going to hear next the Great Gildersleeve that aired at 6:30 Eastern Time. That was followed by Jack Benny, the Fitch Bandwagon. At this point in time, it was a big band show. Freddie Martin, Jan Sabatz, Harry James, Tommy Dorsey, others appeared through the seasons. Then it was a musical variety show in 1945, starring Cass Daly and others. And then its final 2 seasons, from fall 46 through spring 48, a situation comedy starring Phil Harris and Alice Faye. And then it would evolve into the Phil Harris-Alice Faye show. But that was the Fitch Bandwagon at that time. And then you would have Charlie McCarthy, the half-hour One Man's Family, and then the musical Merry-Go-Round. They got to music for the rest of the night, pretty much. Over on CBS at the time, you had, of course, news up until about 6:30, in which time Gene Autry's Melody Ranch rolled around. You had Commando, We the People, Meet Corliss Archer, Crime Doctor, The Radio Digest, Fred Allen, Take It or Leave It, and The Man Behind the Gun. CBS not real distinguished at the time. NBC was the Sunday night powerhouse. And it would take the big talent raids of CBS to change those fortunes. Martin Agronsky over on ABC, followed by the Americana Quiz, Drew Pearson, the Quiz Kids, Inner Sanctum. Actually, Inner Sanctum So that would have been, ABC at the time. Walter Winchell, Basin Street, and Jimmy Fiddler, and the Goodwill Hour. Lots of that stuff. And then the first, over on Mutual, the First Nighter program, and the Old-Fashioned Revival Hour, lots of stuff. So it was a busy night. But then Sundays were for a long time because people were coming home from spending their weekends away and getting back home and settling in for the night. Alrighty, and let's go back to 6:30 on NBC, 82 years ago. The Great Gildersleeve starring Harold Peary and Leroy and Rabbits.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. The Kraft Cheese Company will also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night. Present each week at this time Harold Peary as The Great Gildersleeve, written by John Whedon and Sam Moore. We'll hear from The Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. But first, if you've noticed that family favorites like Pabst-ett, the delicious golden cheese food, are sometimes missing from your dealer's shelves, remember there's a very good reason. Literally millions of pounds of dairy foods are being shipped abroad to help supply energy and the important milk nutrients our fighting men need. But dealers will usually have Pabst-ett in stock. And smart homemakers have learned what a wonderful extender it is for a host of wartime food. Melted into a smooth cheese sauce, the grand cheddar cheese flavor of Pabst-ett gives real personality to leftovers of meat and fish and vegetables fixed in dozens of different ways. Pabst-ett is a tasty filling for the children's sandwiches, too, and it slices perfectly for serving with dessert or just by itself. Yes, for a delicious, nourishing, and economical help in preparing meals that'll give family appetites a real lift, ask your dealer for Pabst-ett in the round, flat package, spelled Pabstett. Pabst-ett. Only 3 red ration points for a generous package. Well, it's Easter weekend, and Saturday afternoon finds Gildersleeve out in the side lot surveying his victory garden and wondering whether to pull the weeds now or let them grow a little bigger so they'll be easier to get hold of. It looks as if they'd grow a little bigger, for from the window of the kitchen nearby comes the smell of good things in the oven. Let's follow him in and see what's cooking.
Fee-fi-fo-fum. I smell something good. What's Bertie making there, Marjorie?
Frosting for the Easter cake.
Frosting?
Yes, sir, and I guess it's about done.
Bertie,
What is it, Mr. Gildersleeve?
you aren't going to put that delicious egg beater in the sink.
Oh, no, sir. I'm saving it for Leroy.
Leroy can lick the bowl. Give it here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Mort, you're looking cross-eyed.
I don't want to miss any of it.
Kitchen door.
I'll go, Bertie.
Well, wipe off your chin.
Gildersleeve?
Yes?
Express, sign here.
Wait a minute. What is it?
Crate, sign here.
I didn't order any crate.
Name Gildersleeve?
Yes?
Sign here.
Yes. Well, hold the egg beater. And hold it, too. I don't know what I'm signing this for. There.
All right. One side, Bud.
Wait a minute.
One side.
We don't want that great big thing here in the kitchen.
Well, where do you want it? Make up your mind. I haven't got all day.
Listen, I've got a good mind to report you to your superior.
Brother, in 2 hours, I report to my draft board. Now, where do you want it?
All right. Set it right down here, soldier. Any place.
Hey!
Careful. Don't you know we got a cake in the oven? Oh. That's the kind of service you get these days.
What do you suppose is in the crate, Uncle Mort?
I don't know, but we'll soon find out. Bertie, do you know where the hammer is?
Right there in the vegetable bin, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Just the place for it, too. Well, let's see now.
Careful, Uncle Mort. It might be something breakable.
Maybe I can pry the top up.
Hey, Uncle, that's the express man. Uh-huh.
And now it's coming.
Unc, wait a minute.
There.
Look out! Oh, my goodness, rabbits.
Rabbits! Leroy! Dear rabbit! Dear rabbit! Oh, my goodness.
Oh, now we'll never get get them. They're under the refrigerator.
Maybe if we had some food, we could get them to come out.
Yeah, try some Popsies. Rabbits don't eat Popsies.
I don't know, my dear. Popsies always tasted like rabbit food to me.
Well, I could poke under there with a broom, maybe.
Oh, no, you might hurt them. Those are very valuable rabbits. They cost me over $2.
Remind me to ask you, Leroy, where you got the $2. Here, Bunny, here, Bunny, here, Bunny, here, Bunny.
Oh, no, you'll never get them that way, Unc. You have to get down on your hands and knees.
Then they can just stay under there.
Oh, Unc, we've got to get them out. They might get stuck under there. Those are Flemish giants. They grow fast.
Yes. All right. It'll teach them a lesson then.
Oh, there he goes. I got him. I got one, Unc. Oh, Lord. Isn't he darling?
Bring him over here, Leroy. Let me see.
Oh, he's frightened. Look, he's shivering. Let me hold him, Leroy.
No, let me hold him.
Sure, Unc. Here. Don't let him get away. That's a valuable rabbit.
Oh, isn't he cunning? Feel him, Marjorie. Feel how soft he is.
Ah.
There, little bunny. Now, don't you be frightened. Look, Marjorie, look how he wrinkles up his little nose. Witchy, 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 witchy.
Uncle Mort, you're doing it, too.
I can't help it. He's making faces at me, the little rascal.
You like him, Unc?
Oh, he's as cute as the dickens, Leroy. How did you get him?
Well, from an ad in Winterman Comics.
Huh?
I sent for them, only $2.17 express prepaid.
Where did you get the $2.17?
Oh, I got it. It's a great investment, Unc. It says in the ad. Boys, make big money raising rabbits.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't count on it, my boy. As pets, rabbits may be fine, but...
Who said anything about pets? I'm raising these rabbits to eat.
To eat?
Eat a little fuzzy, cunning, helpless little thing like that? Leroy, I think you're horrible.
Marjorie, take this rabbit and put him somewhere. I want to get to the bottom of this.
I got the other one, Miss Gilsleeve.
Well, give him to Marjorie, Bertie.
There, now, Flopsy and Mopsy. Come on, we'll find a nice, safe, warm place for you, away from that awful Leroy.
Yes. Now, young man, why was I not consulted before you bought those rabbits?
Well, I wanted to surprise you, Unc, for Easter.
You surprised me, all right. Where'd you get the money?
All of it?
Of course. All of it.
Well, the 17 cents I had.
All right, but what about the $2?
Well, you know those old rusty, no-good old roller skates I got Christmas before last?
They were very excellent skates when I gave them to you.
I thought Santa Claus gave them to me.
We won't argue about that, young man.
All right. Anyway, they were always getting in your way, and anyway, I outgrew them, and anyway, one wheel was busted, so I traded them with Piggy.
Did you tell him the wheel was busted, broken?
Well, he doesn't need all the wheels. He just wants to make a pushmobile.
Yes. Nevertheless, that was not a very honest thing to do, Leroy, was it?
Well, he swapped it for a spark coil that wouldn't spark.
I'm glad to hear you didn't get the best of it. Now, stop beating around the bush and tell me, where did you get those $2?
Well, you know the spark coil?
You just told me about it. It wouldn't spark.
Yeah, so I traded it.
Who'd you trade it to?
Michael.
Mrs. Ransom's little niece? I mean nephew?
Well, he wanted it, Unc. He kept pestering me for it.
Did you tell him it wouldn't work? Did you?
Well, gosh, Unc, you wouldn't want me to give him a spark coil that works. They're dangerous. He might get a shock.
He might get it. All right, you charlatan. What did you trade the spark coil for? Come on, what did you trade it for?
$2.
That's what we call selling, Leroy, not trading. And you sold that spark coil under false pretenses, with deliberate intent to defraud.
Oh, no, I didn't, Unc, honest.
Then what was your intention?
To get the $2.
Leroy, I honestly believe you don't know the simple difference between right and wrong.
Yeah, that's all it is, Unc. I don't know any better. Gosh, if I knew
That's
any better...
enough, Leroy. Go help Marjorie find a place for those rabbits. And see that it's not in my study. I'll take this thing up with you later.
Yeah, sure, I will. I'll find a good place for them.
Bertie, I don't know what I'm going to do about that boy. I swear I don't.
Oh, now, Leroy ain't a bad boy, Mr. Gilsleeve. He's just a boy, that's all.
Well, he needs something. I don't know what, though.
Well, if you ask me, Mr. Gilsleeve, what Leroy needs is a mother.
Yes, I'm afraid you're right, Bertie. There's not much I can do about that.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, you're young, Mr. Gilsleeve. You got your health. You even got a fiancée. And if you don't mind me asking, what is you waiting for?
By George, Bertie, that's what I'm going to ask her. And I'm going to ask her right now, too. Easter Bunny.
Throckmorton, I'll be right down. Don't go away, you hear?
I shouldn't have said that. I got to be tough with her. This time, by George, she's going to give me an answer. I'm not like some people. You can twist them around your little finger. Leela, when are we going to get married?
What did you say?
You heard me.
Oh, gracious, Throckmorton, you're so impetuous.
Impetuous? We've been engaged now for 4 months. What's so impetuous about that? I want to know when we're going to get married.
Well, come in, won't you?
No, you come out.
Very well, Throckmorton, if you wish.
Yes. Now, we're going to sit down here on the veranda and settle this once and for all.
Yes, let's. You know, Throckmorton, you're so masterful. I hardly know you when you're like this.
Well, it's my other side. Now, let's get down to business. When do we get married? Name the date, Leela.
Well, tell me first, why do you want me to marry you, Throckmorton?
Well, because... just because.
Because what?
Because I...
Go on, say it. Because you what?
Well, I think Leroy needs a mother.
A mother? Is that all I am to you, a mother for Leroy?
Now, Leela, I didn't say that.
Well, I guess I know what you were thinking, and I can give you your answer right now.
Now, Leela, don't fly off the handle. Let's be reasonable about this thing.
Throckmorton, I am the soul of reason, I assure you. I've thought it all over, and I've decided that we have no business getting married till after the war.
After the war? But, Leela, that may be a long time.
Well, you asked me for my decision, and that's it. I'll marry you the day the war is won.
That settles it.
What?
I demand a second front. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to interrupt here for just a moment in order to present a very charming and courageous lady who has something to say to you. That she is charming is no secret to her thousands of admirers, and the proof of her courage is her 4-month expedition across the Atlantic this past winter to entertain our troops in England, Ireland, Scotland, and North Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Kay Francis.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask your attention for 1 minute. 1 minute isn't very long, but in this very brief minute that you hear my voice, men are dying for you. Dying on distant battlefields, in strange waters. Men from Nebraska, Illinois, Texas, boys from across the street, boys that you know. Right now, while I speak to you, 60 seconds in a minute. How many times 60 men are dying for you? And as they die, they are remembering home, remembering us, wanting to come home, knowing they never will. Are we worth remembering? Are we worth coming home to? No. Not unless we do all we possibly can to win this war. And our possible all is so little compared to what they give. We are not asked to give, but to lend our dollars to our government, to carry our share of the $13 billion needed in the second war loan. Lend your dollars, right now, right this minute, while those men are giving their lives for you. You'll get your dollars back.
Thank you, Miss Francis.
Now let's get back to Summerfield and the Great Gildersleeve. It's Easter morning, and the great man has started the day in a constructive and beneficent mood. He's intending, before donning his finery for the Easter parade, to build a rabbit hutch, but a brief inspection of the garage shows him that something is missing, namely the rabbits.
Leroy, where are your little pets?
You mean Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit?
Yes, you don't have to be so formal either.
Oh, well, they're in a perfectly safe place, Unc.
Where are they?
Don't worry about them.
Oh, Leroy!
What is it, Bertie?
Did you put those rabbits in the fireplace?
Fireplace?
There's no fire in it.
Yep.
That's their new home, Bertie. They love it there.
Well, maybe so, but they've moved out.
What?
They did?
Young man, you'll have to find those rabbits before we go to church. So get busy.
Oh, gosh, Unc, won't you help?
Well, that depends. If I...
Say, here comes Judge Hooker over by the back fence.
Judge Hooker, huh? What's he doing around here?
Gildersleeve,
Oh, Gildersleeve,
Just stay on the other side of that fence, Hooker. You owe me a fender.
you owe me a bumper. You happen to be the owner of 2 oversized, overaged gray rabbits?
Oh, my goodness. Go get them, Leroy. Those rabbits belong to my nephew, Judge Hooker. See that you don't do anything that injures them.
Injures them. Look here, I just caught him finishing up the last head of lettuce in my victory garden.
I'm beginning to like those rabbits.
Well, if I catch him over here again, I'll give him to the city pound. Here, take him, Leroy.
Thanks.
So just remember, Gildersleeve, you not only owe me a bumper, but you owe me 1 dozen heads of lettuce.
You owe me a fender, and you can take a dozen heads of lettuce from my victory garden. What are you laughing at, you old nanny goat?
The rabbits ate your lettuce.
Now, let's see. Handkerchief for the breast pocket. Need a flower for my buttonhole. Better put on the silk hat just to see how the whole thing looks. There. Ooh. Hi, George Gildersleeve. You're a handsome fellow in a cutaway. Yes, sir. Come in.
Sam, come on down. Mrs. Ransom is here, and Marjorie wants to take everybody's picture.
Oh, good idea. I'll come right now. Leroy, I wonder if you could find me a flower somewhere for my buttonhole.
Okay, what do you want, an Easter lily?
No. Leroy, just something small and suitable. Oh, hello, Leela. Oh, happy Easter.
Well, happy Easter to you, too, Throckmorton.
Oh, that's a beautiful costume, my dear. Everyone will be saying, lucky Gildersleeve.
Oh, now, Throckmorton. But you look simply angelic in your gray trousers and cutaway, doesn't he, Marjorie?
Oh, he always does. He looks all ready for a wedding.
Let's not go into that.
Come on outdoors, everybody, and we'll take your picture. Ben's got the camera out there.
Well, are you sure there's time, Marjorie? Your uncle and I are going to church.
Oh, we all are.
Of course, Leela. Come on.
Well, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. Happy Easter.
Oh, thanks, my boy. The same to you, Ben. Now, where do you want us to stand?
Oh, right there beside the lilacs would be all right.
Oh, fine. I'll put some lilac in my buttonhole.
Just stand anywhere, really. It isn't too much trouble. Now, if you could just smile, please.
How's this?
I got you. That one ought to be fine.
Now, who's going to take our picture?
I'll do it, Marge.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, I take better pictures than anyone in the family.
He has been lucky. All right, Leroy.
Where shall I stand, Marge?
Well, right beside me.
Here? Well, that's where I am already.
Can't you get a little closer?
Oh, I guess so.
All right, now look at her, you big goof.
Oh, I am looking at her.
Ben, honey, why don't you put your arm around her waist?
Oh, gosh, right here in front of everybody?
Why not?
Well, all right. Say, this is quite comfortable.
Oh, Throckmorton, they're so in love. Don't they look beautiful together?
Yes, they do, Leela.
They just look like an Easter magazine cover, I declare.
Yes, so do you, Leela.
Got it. Thank you, Leroy.
Yeah, much obliged. Gee, I never enjoyed having my picture taken before.
By George, I'm glad we decided to walk, Leela.
It is nice.
Yes, sir. Oh, good morning, Dr. Pettibone. Happy Easter.
Good morning, Doctor.
He goes to a different church.
I know. Here comes old Mrs. Carrington. Don't tell me she's walking to church.
Yeah, but she'll stop for a long conversation. Oh, good morning, Mrs. Carrington. Oh, happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter to you, Mr. Gildersleeve. Happy Easter, Mrs. Carrington, and what a lovely shawl you're wearing.
Thank you, Mrs. Ransom. I'm glad you had the sense not to call it a fascinator.
You're looking awfully well, Mrs. Carrington. Did you have a good winter?
Pretty cold, pretty cold.
Yes, but now it's spring. What do you hear from your grandson? Is he still with
Oh, yes, Mr. Gildersleeve. They made him a vice president this year, and next year they're going to raise his salary.
Well, he's coming along nicely.
Oh, mercy, I'm afraid we'll all be late for church.
Oh, we must all hurry, but I'm glad to see you young people still dress up for Easter. You'll make a very handsome couple.
Well.
Oh, now, Mrs. Carrington.
I haven't had a chance to congratulate you formally. When is the wedding to be?
Well, it depends a little on the war.
Oh, don't wait too long.
Uh.
After all, we're only young once. Well, goodbye, Mrs. Ransom. Goodbye, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mrs. Carrington.
Oh, she's a wonderful old lady. I always enjoy seeing her. She makes me feel so young.
Yeah.
Come on, Throckmorton, let's run.
Run! Leela! Hey, wait! Well, Leela, there's nothing like the feeling when you've been to church on Easter. Of course, I always feel like a new man after church, but on Easter I feel even happier.
I feel the same way, Throckmorton.
I don't know what it is, the Easter hymns or something. But when the collection basket came around this morning, I put in twice as much as I'd planned.
Oh, really?
Yeah, should have planned that much in the first place, though. Oh, here comes Peavy. Happy Easter, Peavy.
Happy Easter, Mr. Peavy.
Well, a joyous Easter to you, Mrs. Ransom, and to you, too, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Just coming from church, Mr. Peavy?
Yes, I am, Mrs. Ransom. Mrs. Peavy and I attended the services together, and then I went by the shop to get this little surprise for her.
Surprise, eh? What is it, a plant?
A begonia. I've given her a potted begonia every Easter since we've been married.
Listen, Peavy, if you've given her a begonia every Easter, she couldn't possibly be surprised when you walk in with this one.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
But you've already given her 20 or 30 begonias for Easter.
31. I know because Mrs. Peavy saves the pots.
Yes. That's nice.
Yes, and when I give her this one, I know just exactly what she'll say.
What, Mr. Peavy?
She'll say, Richard Peavy, don't you know it's wicked to be extravagant?
But that's not extravagant, Richard.
Well, I know that, Mr. Gildersleeve. So does Mrs. Peavy. That's just her little way of acting surprised.
I think it's a very sweet way, too.
I do myself. Anyhow, she always says it, and then she gives me my surprise.
You get a surprise, too, huh? What's your surprise, Peavy?
A box of crystallized ginger.
Crystallized? Crystallized ginger? That's pretty strong stuff, isn't it?
Yes, but I've got a taste for it.
Yes.
And is that your surprise every year, Mr. Peavy?
Every year.
It's a wonder you don't faint from excitement.
Well, I don't faint, Mr. Gildersleeve, but I give a pretty good imitation.
Good enough to fool Mrs. Peavy.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Yes. But when you folks have been married as long as I have, you know that our kind of surprise is more fun than a real one.
Yes, you may be right. Well, so long, Peavy. Happy Easter to you and Mrs. Peavy.
Well, the same to you and Mrs. Ransom. Good day.
Throckmorton,
Yes, Leela?
was there any war news today?
Well, apparently the Allied forces made substantial gains in El Milang region.
Throckmorton,
Yes, Leela?
isn't it wonderful that Mr. and Mrs. Peavy are so happy after all these years?
Yeah, I guess so. Of course, he's rather a strange fellow.
Throckmorton,
Yeah?
we're neither of us getting any younger, are we?
Of course not, Leela.
Throckmorton,
What is it, Leela?
how would you like to come to my house this evening for chicken fricassee? There'll just be the two of us.
Chicken fricassee? Oh, brother, I'll be there. That was a wonderful dinner, Leela.
I'm glad you liked it, darling.
Maybe I overindulged a little.
Oh, I didn't notice.
That's because I didn't overindulge any more than usual.
You were so cute sitting at the head of my table serving my dinner and all. It looked natural somehow.
Guess I'll smoke a cigar.
You know something, Throckmorton? I've been nervous in this house the last few days.
What on earth is there to be nervous about?
Oh, nothing in particular. Sometimes I think I hear strange noises in the night. But, with you here, I don't feel nervous a bit.
Fine.
But when you're not here, I do feel nervous.
And maybe you ought to see Dr. Pettibone. Get some vitamins.
Oh, fish.
What did you say, Leela?
Nothing. Throckmorton, I've been thinking.
Yes, Leela?
Maybe Leroy shouldn't wait till after the war to have a mother.
Oh. Huh? Leela, will you?
What do you mean, Throckmorton?
Could you marry me before the war is over?
Well, for Leroy's sake, I might consider it.
How about next week?
Now, Throckmorton, don't be so impetuous.
Well, June's a nice month for weddings.
Yes, it is.
June 1st.
Well, that's awfully soon.
June 1st.
Well, I think we might say the first week in June.
Oh, darling, this is the happiest Easter of my life.
Really, honey?
Sure. Why, everybody ought to be married. It's a law of nature. 2 by 2, male and female. A girl for every boy in the world.
Hey, Unc, what do you think?
Leroy, what?
Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit just had quintuplets.
Easter, like all important holidays, is a time for families and old friends to get together, or if they can't do that, at least to get in touch with one another. And so this Easter, we of the Kraft family bring you the greetings of our sponsor through its president, Mr. J.L. Kraft. Mr. Kraft.
I'm glad of this opportunity to bring Easter greetings to Kraft men and women everywhere and to the families of our boys and girls who are now in the service of their country. When we think of Easter, we naturally think of the resurrection. The two words are eternally linked together. In every Christian land today, the celebration of Easter will bring its age-old message of hope to a war-darkened world. The fact of the resurrection and the faith which it symbolizes have never been so significant to so many nations and to so many peoples in the world's history. In itself, the word resurrection is one of the most beautiful in our language. It means bringing back to life, the conquest of death, the return of hope. At this springtime of the year, all nature tells the story of resurrection. We read its meaning in the budding trees and in the miracle of nature's reawakening to vibrant life. There is still another significance to the word resurrection, to bring back to memory that which was forgotten or lost. And it is upon this meaning of resurrection that I have been reflecting on this Easter Sunday. While our boys are away fighting for freedom around the world, enduring hardships, loneliness, weariness, we on the home front have a high responsibility toward them. While they are absent, our virtues grow in their minds and our shortcomings are forgotten. Let us so live our lives that their ideals will not be shattered when they return. Let us make them as proud of us as we are proud of them. And so it seems particularly fitting to me that each of us at this Easter time should resurrect and strengthen our faith in God and in the ideals of our forefathers. That faith and those ideals on which this nation was founded and by which it grew strong and great. As youngsters, our mothers taught us to say when we pray, "Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray thee, Lord, my soul to keep." I have just had a letter from one of our own boys in North Africa in which he says that 8 men of his group kneel at their bunks every night and speak this prayer as they go to sleep. It means something to them. It meant something to us as children. Let us then, as we think of these simple prayers, resurrect the trusting faith of our childhood and approach God understandingly. Let us resurrect and renew our strength in the God-given pioneer virtues. Let us at home in our daily lives have the courage, the strength, and the fortitude of those who fight for freedom, that we and our children and they and their children may live in peace. They are counting on us, depending on us, to maintain their ideals of home and family until they join us again, and in this we cannot fail them.
program has come to you from Chicago and Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Showing you again what a different time it was. It was wartime, 1943, and you would not hear that kind of religious message put out by any sponsor today unless they were a well-known religious organization. 82 years ago, April 25th, 1943, it was 6:30 Eastern Time, The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Peary here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Let's look toward to Saturday, and on tomorrow's show, we'll have more comedy with the Aldrich family. The final season of the show, starring Bobby Ellis as Henry Aldrich, and Henry tries to deliver a bicycle. My Son Jeep, going back 72 years ago to April 26, 1953, a checking account. We'll hear an 88-year-old version of the Fibber, McGee, and Molly show from 1937. As Fibber and Molly are taking off from Hollywood, they will be originating the show from Hollywood for a couple of weeks as they're making the picture This Way Please. And a fellow by the name of Barry Lionmore teaches Fibber about acting. And then an episode of My Friend Irma, starring Marie Wilson from 1948, the Manhattan Magazine. And we'll wrap it all up with an episode of the 1940s era program, Can You Imagine That? And talk about the building that rises from the sea. That's all coming up on our next Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox for Saturday. Now on Sunday, we'll get back to drama with radio's outstanding theater of thrill suspense. Agnes Moorehead stars in The Diary of Sophronia Winters. We'll also have an episode of Dragnet entitled The Big Liar, an episode of Lights Out, and The Execution, and The Hall of Fantasy. That's all coming up on Sunday's Classic Radio Theater. And then on Monday, more comedy with Jimmy Durante. Willard Waterman as the Great Gildersleeve, as Gildy swears off girls. I don't think that's going to last long. Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, and an episode of the Abbott and Costello Show. That's coming up on our next Classic Radio Theater on Monday. So we've got a big 3 days ahead here on the podcast. Coming up next, though, as we said, we have an episode of Groucho Marx and You Bet Your Life, and Fenneman will be along in a moment to tell us what the secret word is.
Will you take the step?
Hi, Dad. You want some help washing the car?
What? Well, sure. Tom, you want something?
Nothing, Pop. Mind if I put some civil defense stickers in here?
Stickers? What for?
Oh, see, Pop? Put them on the radio dial at 640 and 1240. That's Conrad.
4 wheels to survival. That's your car in a civil defense emergency. It will help you move away from danger.
If it's in good mechanical condition. Tires properly inflated, battery in tip-top shape, and your gas tank more than half full.
Mark your car radio at 640 and 1240 for official information.
Another sticker at the half-full mark will help remind you to keep plenty of gasoline in the tank.
Know the 6 steps to survival. Make this year your family's year for civil defense. You take the first step.
Civil defense, an American tradition.
Keeping your wheels ready in times of emergency is a good thing to have. As what happens if you have a big hurricane rolling into the air? You got to get out of town. It's too late to get the oil changed, isn't it? Yeah. So check all that out. That's good things. Always being prepared is a good thing. Now, let's go back 74 years, April 25th, 1951. Groucho Marx and You Bet Your Life. And as always, we turn to George Fenneman to find out what the secret word is.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is wall. W-A-L-L.
Really?
You bet your life. The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You'll Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
Groucho! That's me, Groucho Marx.
Well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples tonight. Deacon Fenneman, who's first to try for the $1,500?
Well, just before we went on the air, we asked if there were any young single people present tonight who'd like to get married someday if they found the right person. And here are the two selected from our studio audience, Miss Ruth Meston and Mr. Joe Anderson. Come in here and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome, kids, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. Ruth Meston, huh?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. How old are you, Ruth?
I'm 21.
21, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You don't look it. You look like about 20 and a half, huh? And, Joe Anderson, is that right?
That's right.
How old are you, Joe?
29.
29? My decrepit age. Where are you from, Joe?
I'm from Panther Creek, Idaho, just north of Sun Valley.
You're not married, Joe?
No.
Oh, well, certainly I can't ask you how you met your wife, can I? How did you meet your wife, Joe?
I haven't.
What kind of work do you do, Joe?
Well, I'm a guide, fishing and hunting guide.
Oh, what kind of work do you do, Ruth?
Oh, I work in Woolworth's 5 and 10 cent store.
You're not married either,
No, I'm
Ruth?
not. No.
Suppose if you found a nice, attractive fellow, you'd be interested in him?
I surely would.
Well, look no further. Get a load of this profile.
Well, maybe I can wait a little while longer.
These women are all alike. I got the same answer from Grandma Moses. How about Joe here? Would you say he's a likely candidate?
He looks very nice.
You're in more of a hurry to get married now than you were a minute ago, right? You women are all alike. You all prefer dashing young men. Fortunately, there are women who still prefer refined elderly men. Oh, they have their good qualities, too. They often have money. They're dignified. They sleep a lot during the day. And if you hide their eyeglasses, you always know where they are. Joe, would you like to get married?
Oh, sure.
Why?
Well, they say you live longer.
It just seems longer, Joe. And you say you're a guide? What sort of work do you do, specifically?
Well, I take parties, guests, and take them out on hunting trips and fishing trips.
Where do you do your guiding, Joe?
Up in the primitive area of Idaho.
Primitive area?
Yes.
Just how primitive is it?
Well, it's 7 million acres in the center of Idaho that doesn't have any roads through it. It's full of great fishing and hunting.
Joe, if there aren't any roads, how do you get around up there?
I practically live on a horse.
I see. Ruth, how would you like to get married and live on a horse with Joe? A nice 3-room horse with that. I'll get these two together even if they loathe each other. Joe, as a guide in the primitive area, what's the biggest thrill you ever had?
Well, I think the first time I went down through the impassable canyon, the river of no return in a rubber boat.
He sounds like Cukil, Fran, and Ollie. Joe, I'm afraid you've spent too much time alone in the forest. What are you... Just what are you talking about?
Well, the middle fork of the Salmon River is in this
Now,
primitive...
what kind of... Is that smoked salmon, or is that...
fresh salmon.
Oh. The salmon swim upstream?
That's right.
Well, how do they swim upstream in those little cans? I never did. Well, tell me about this river of no return. Eh?
Well, we take boat trips down through it, and the reason it's called the river of no return is because no one has ever made a return trip up the river.
Well, then there must be millions of people up there, huh? You take people up there, and that's the last you ever see it?
Well, we take them down the river. And they don't
take
go
them down
back
the
up.
river, huh?
They don't go back up.
Now, Ruth, do you get a vacation on your job?
Yes, once a year.
I see. And, Joe, what attractions does the primitive area have for honeymooners?
Oh, great hunting and fishing.
Well, that sounds wonderful for a couple of newly married rainbow trout. Well, it was a pleasure to have you two on the program. And, Joe, if I ever want to go hunting, I'll drop into the 5 and 10 and hunt for Ruth here. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $1,500 question. But right now, I want you to pay attention to a matter of great importance.
You know, friends, over the years, DeSoto has built a lot of really great cars. And this year's DeSoto is the greatest car DeSoto ever built. If you've had a ride in it, you know why. No other car, that's right, I said no other car rides like a DeSoto. You relax in comfort on those chair-high seats, and you take even the roughest roads with ease. It's just like floating on air when you ride in the new DeSoto. And here's why. DeSoto has the sensational Oriflow shock absorbers that really smooth out the worst bumps you can find. DeSoto has the famous cradled ride, where all passengers ride cradled comfortably between front and rear wheels. DeSoto has a whole host of wonderful new features that together give you the most wonderful ride it's ever been your pleasure to enjoy. That's why so many, many folks are saying, no other car rides like a DeSoto. Why not stop in and see it at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers? And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, the value jewel of the low-priced field.
All right, now let's see how you make out in the quiz. George? Mr. Fenneman, would you mind explaining the rules?
You bet as much of your $20 as you want on each of 4 questions, and the couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,500 DeSoto Plymouth question at the end of the show.
Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected stars of hit pictures of 1950. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you try?
15.
One of our finest actors had the title role in Father of the Bride. What is his name?
Spencer Tracy.
Spencer Tracy is right.
Well, you're off to a good start. You have $35.
Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. Now, how much of the 35 are you going to risk?
30.
$30. What great Broadway star played the title role in Cyrano de Bergerac?
Oh, Jose Ferrer.
Jose Ferrer.
You now have $65.
Here's your third question. How much of the 65?
60.
Okay, 60.
$60. Who starred in Harvey?
James Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart is right.
Really on your way, you have $125.
And here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 125?
Okay,
Bet 'em
125.
You going to bet it all?
Sure.
Joe, you may have to go back to Idaho on a salmon. What English actress starred opposite Stuart Granger in King Solomon's Mines?
Deborah Kerr.
Deborah Kerr. $50. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Groucho, because this is public school week, we invited some principals to the program tonight. And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mr. Robert Purdy. His partner is a housewife from the studio audience, Mrs. Elizabeth Ramish. And here they are. Folks, come in here and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, kids, to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. Let's see now. Mr. Purdy, you're the principal, huh?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Carver Junior High School in Los Angeles.
You were born right in Carver Junior High School? Were you afraid you'd be late for school?
No, my hometown is Whitefish, Montana.
Whitefish, Montana? This show sounds like an aquarium tonight. Well, where are you from, Mrs. Ramish?
Oh, I come from Dresden, Germany.
From Dresden, Germany?
That's right.
Oh, I used to live on the outskirts of Dresden, Germany. I was half Dresden, Germany. How long have you been away from Dresden?
Oh, since 1923.
And what sort of work does your husband do?
He's a hairdresser.
A hairdresser?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a German name, hairdresser. Huh? That's possible. Well, how did you meet him? Did you pull the wool over his eyes?
No, I didn't pull the wool over his eyes. I tell you, I was in this country 5 days and took a job as a physician, as a nurse to 2 children. We spent our vacation in Lackawaxen, Delaware River.
Where?
In Lackawaxen, on the Delaware River.
Oh. Well, we're back with the fish again.
And I, of course, couldn't go out in the evening. I had to watch the children, so I used to sit on a fire escape. One evening, all of a sudden, something scared me to death.
Well, were you waiting for this?
No, I wasn't waiting for this. I was just sitting there minding my own business, watching the stars and the moon. Something flew over the fence, and it looked very much like a rag.
A rag flew over the fence?
Yeah. And,
Was it the rag of the Hesperus, or just
It was just a plain rag.
a plain rag, yeah?
That's right.
Well, what happened?
Well, the rag had feet, and a young man stood before me, and he said, "I beg your pardon." Of course, I didn't know what he was talking about, but anyway, he stood there kind of impressed, and he was holding the back of his pants. He had split them by being thrown over the fence.
Oh, I see.
You see, a
He was playing
donkey...
split weeks, huh?
No, a donkey kicked him over the fence.
So, you and the donkey got married, is that? Well, let's talk about your school, Prince. Let's see, what was the name of the school you're principal of? Oh, I'd better be careful with my grammar. Did I split my subjunctive?
I do think you ended your sentence with a preposition, though.
Right. I did. How did that preposition ever sneak in? How would you do it, Principal?
Well, of which school are you principal?
You're confused. I'm not principal of any school. You are. At least that's the story you're spreading around. And, Prince, I think you are spreading around, too. Now, let's get back to my question. Of which school are you the principal of? Don't they nullify each other?
Carver Junior High School.
Now, tell me, Mr. Purdy, by the way, Mr. sounds so formal. Would you mind being called Bob?
No, that's all right.
Are you sure you don't mind being called Bob?
Oh, no, I kind of like it.
Attention, all pupils of Carver High. Next time you get sent down to see the principal, remember, he wants you to call him Bob. Now, Mr. Purdy, which gives you the most trouble, students, teachers, or parents?
Answering that question would give me more trouble than anything I can think of.
You realize, of course, that you just split an infinitive. I certainly didn't expect that from you. Aren't you a little embarrassed?
Yeah, well, I could say that that's becoming common English usage.
Well, perhaps, Mr. Purdy, but on this show we'd prefer that you didn't split your infinitive. You see, we have many impressionable children listening, and you're setting an unforgivably poor example. Now, I want you to stay after the program and write 100 times on the blackboard, "I am a schlemiel." Well, it's been enlightening having a principal here. It's the first time we ever had any principals on this program. And now you're going to play You Bet Your Life. You're on your $20 and more than our other couples, and you'll get a crack at the $1,500 question. Mr. Fenneman is off stage to remind our listeners how much the first couple won.
The girl from the 5 and 10 and the guide from Idaho won $250.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected North American rivers. You ought to be pretty good at this, Bob. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you bet?
15. Okay, 15.
$15, huh? What is the name of the river that Mark Twain wrote about?
Mississippi.
Mississippi is right.
And you're off to a good start. You have $35.
Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. Now, how much of the 35 are you going to try?
He says 30.
$30. What is the name of the Alaskan river that served as a highway for the gold miners?
Yukon.
Yukon is right.
Now you climb to $65.
How much will you bet? You have $60 to $65.
Okay.
She's a gambler. She says 60.
What is the name of the river that separates the United States from Mexico?
Rio Grande.
Rio Grande is correct.
Now you climb to $125.
Hey, they must really teach you something in that school you go to, huh?
She said 120.
Mrs. Ramesh, if you don't let go of him, I'm going to tell that raggedy husband on you. All right, here we go.
120?
Boulder Dam forms Lake Mead, the largest man-made lake in the world. What is the name of the river that supplies the water to this lake?
Colorado River.
The Colorado River is right.
And you
still winding up with $245.
Thanks to the soda Plymouth dealer.
Well, Groucho, we invited some girls who work for the telephone company to our program tonight. And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Miss Gretchen Adam. Her partner is a man who answered our newspaper advertisement for people with unusual stories to tell. He's Mr. Al Jennings. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Well, howdy do and welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. You work for the telephone company, Miss Adam?
Yes.
Where are you from, Gretchen?
Santa Monica.
And how old are you?
24.
24. Well, you don't look it. You look like 23 and a half. Mr. Al Jennings, when were you born?
I arrived in the middle of the Civil War.
You mean you were shot out of a cannon? You're not General Grant, are you?
No, I'm Stonewall Jackson.
Oh. How old are you, Mr. Jennings?
87 years.
Well, you don't look it. You certainly don't look it. I thought you were about 23 and a half. Apparently you've taken very good care of yourself.
Yes, I've only been shot 7 times.
You've been shot 7 times?
And half shot once in a while.
Well, that makes 14 times. Where are you from, Al?
I was born in Virginia.
Oh, you're a son of Dixie, eh?
Yes, sir.
Well, the next time you see Dixie, tell her one of her old beaux was asking about her. Mr. Jennings, you were chosen because you have an unusual story to tell us. Just what is your occupation?
Train robber.
Really? What's unusual about that? Some of my best friends. You're a train robber? You're not serious, are you? Really a train robber?
One of the best.
Al, I don't want to seem nosy, but are you still robbing trains?
No, I retired.
Did the trains get too fast for you?
The law.
By the way, that doesn't happen to be a reward out for you, does it?
At one time, there was $15,000 on my head.
That's certainly a curious place to keep $15,000. Somebody might have stolen it. There are a lot of crooks around, you know, Al. Come to think of it, Al, your face does look familiar. Haven't I seen it hanging in the post office?
Not for 47 years.
Well, that shows you how often I go to the post office. Well, let's change the conversation to a comparatively honest subject like the phone company. Where do you work, Gretch?
Associated Telephone Company in Westwood.
You work in Westwood? For the Associated Telephone Company?
Yes.
Is that part of the Bell system?
No, we're independent.
Independent. What phone company isn't? Have you tried to get your bill chopped down lately? What do you do for this outfit?
Oh, we take new service and complaints and change of service.
I heard the phone company was broke. Somebody told me it was in the hands of the receiver. Is that right? Al, let's hear your story. Why did you start robbing trains?
Well, it's easier than robbing banks.
Ask a crooked question, you get a crooked answer. Let's put it this way. What made you decide to become an outlaw?
They murdered my brother.
They murdered your brother?
Yes, they shot him in the back.
What line of work were you doing before you were a bank robber?
I just served as county attorney of Canadian County, Oklahoma.
Oh, you were a lawyer, too?
Yes,
huh?
sir.
And that's why you decided to become a bandit? You wanted to go straight? Is that it?
That's different from the two professions.
Well, what was your biggest holdup?
About $75,000.
And how did that happen?
Well, I had an inside information, and the money was there.
From who?
An honest citizen.
Well, how did they finally catch you? Did you forget to file an income tax return?
No, I was betrayed. Shut up quite a bit.
Well, who betrayed you? This fellow who had tipped you off?
A horse thief that we used to stay with occasionally.
You ran around with a fine gang. Now, what did they do to you after they caught you? Did they hang you?
No, they sent me up for the period of my natural life and 5 years besides.
And how long did you serve?
3 years and 4 months. And I was commuted by McKinley through Mark Hanna, and then I was rearrested and taken to Leavenworth for 5 years more, and I beat that out on a writ of habeas corpus. Habeas corpus.
I don't mind. Habeas corpus is all right. Well, you got off pretty easy, didn't you?
Oh, fairly.
Why was that? Why did you get off with such a light sentence? Why did McKinley...
You see, I met a good many friends in the penitentiaries, men of distinction, burglars and pickpockets, and bankers and lawyers and businessmen. They had all representatives there.
Didn't you hate to get out of there and leave all these fine fellows?
No, I really got weary of it. It's too much the same thing. There was too much stealing on the inside. I wasn't getting my cut.
Now, what happened?
Then I got a pardon from Theodore Roosevelt.
You went through all the presidents, didn't you?
He gave me a full and free pardon.
Well, Al, it's been very entertaining talking to you two, and Al, I may call on you one of these days. I can't crack open my daughter's piggy bank.
Well,
so I'll give you a buzz one day on Gretchen's telephone. Now, let's see how you two are going to make out in the battle for the $1,500. You run your $20 into more than our other couples. I can't tell you how much they won, but George is going to remind our listeners.
The girl from the 5 and 10 and the guide from Idaho are still leading with $250.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected nicknames of states. Here's your first question. How much of the $20 you going to risk?
Nolan.
15.
$15. What state is known as the Hawkeye State?
Ohio.
One answer between you now.
Pennsylvania.
No, I'm sorry. It's Iowa. And you must have robbed trains in Iowa. You should have known that. Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. Now, how much of the five...
They have $5.
They have $5.
Now.
How much of the $5 you're going to bet on your second question?
Bet 2.5.
Betting 2.5. Here's a man who once had $15,000 on his head. What state is known as the Wolverine State? Michigan is right, Al. You got in just under the wire.
You now have $7.50.
Here's your third question. How much of the $7.50 you going to try? $5. What state is known as the Sooner State?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Well, you're on your way again. You have $12.50.
You're climbing, Al. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 12.5 you going to go for?
All of it?
All of it. Okay. What state is known as the Cornhusker State? Talk it over.
It's over.
Well, I'm sorry. It's Nebraska. But we can't let you go away from here flat broke, Al.
Have you got anything on you?
First, I want to frisk you. All right, we can't have anybody going away broke. I'll give you one more question, get it right, and you will win $10. Now, no help from the audience now. You ready? From what state do we get Washington apples? Washington is right. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
And Groucho, that means that the girl from the 5 and 10 and the hunting guide with $250 get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question.
Now, in just 1 minute, I'll ask the question, but first, here's something of interest to everyone.
It's nice to look ahead to a summer of pleasant driving. But let's look back a moment. Back to winter and cold weather. Those wintry days of freezing cold and rough driving conditions were a lot harder on your car than you may realize. So now that warmer weather is here again, it's important that you get the expert attention your car needs to put it in shape for summer driving. The place to take it is at DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Here, factory-trained mechanics will give your car a thorough inspection. They'll check the entire electrical system and the chassis, including steering and brakes, and do whatever is necessary to get your car ready for summer driving. They'll tune the engine. They'll see to it that your radiator is drained and flushed, and the right oil is put in the engine. Yes, these DeSoto Plymouth dealer mechanics will do all the things that should be done to put your car in shape for thousands of miles of trouble-free, economical operation. Well, not only that, at a DeSoto Plymouth dealers, the service is prompt. The price is fair.
So take your car for a spring tune-up tomorrow. Stop in where you see the familiar sign of better service, the sign of a DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And here's the girl from the 5 and 10 and the hunting guide, the winning couple, all ready for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question.
All right, here come those experts on salmon fishing, and this will give you a chance to make a round trip on that river up there if you win all this money. For $1,500, I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully, and please no help from the audience. Here it is. On August 7, 1782, General George Washington authorized what is now our oldest military decoration. It was originally called the Badge of Military Merit. What is this military medal? All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon? The Purple Heart is right. That's right, you win $1,500. You had the right answer, so you win $1,500. And what else did they win, George?
$250 in the quiz.
That's $1,750. So what are you going to do with all that money? Don't tell me you're not going to get married.
I think I'll go back to Idaho and tend to my own business, and maybe she'd like to come along.
Well, you really cleaned up tonight. Congratulations from the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. You bet your life.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $1,000. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. Two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, just be sure to visit your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Folks, strike back at cancer. Give generously to the American Cancer Society's 1951 crusade. You'll Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.
Unless you think $1,750 to divide between the two of them isn't a great deal. When you put inflation into the mix, that's $1,750 today, $21,500. So that's a good chunk of money to divide for something that was fun, you know. I mean, let's face it. Groucho, being on the stage with Groucho, that was fun enough. At least it would be for me. 74 years ago, April 25th, 1951, You Bet Your Life here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage at classicradio.stream to support our podcast. There are lots of places that play the old radio shows on the internet. We try to put them in some form of context, so you know a little bit of the stuff that goes on around it, don't you know? Alrighty, coming up next, a long-running show that stayed around as long as it did, thanks to the business acumen of a man who didn't seem to have a job, Ozzie Nelson, The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet.
This is basic civil defense information from the Department of Defense, Office of Civil Defense, Washington. If our nation ever comes under nuclear attack and you take shelter to protect yourself from radioactive fallout, water is the key emergency supply. Each person will need at least a quart a day, and if there's not enough water stored in your shelter, here are additional places to find it, especially if you plan to use a home shelter where you'll be on your own. Local authorities may instruct you to turn off the main water valve. When you do this, the pipes inside the house will still be full of water. Next, turn on the faucet located at the highest point in your house to let air into the system. Then use water from the faucet located at the lowest point in your house. You can also use water in your hot water heater, in the flush tanks, or water in ice cube trays, milk, soft drinks, canned juices. If necessary, you can even drink water that's been exposed to fallout. However, very young children should be given non-contaminated liquids when available. For more information, consult your local civil defense office.
And this doesn't have to do just with nuclear attack. You know, the people in western North Carolina who were impacted by a severe hurricane, they went for days without having municipal water supplies. And so you never can tell. In case of emergency, you will need water. You will need food. And you can't always get it from other people. So, be prepared. Never hurts. The big joke in the radio and television program was in The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. Ozzie's character portrayed without a specific job. It led to a joke the only time he left the house was to go buy ice cream. In reality, though, Ozzie Nelson, was a musician and band leader before the show. And that also led, because he was big in music, it kind of fell down the line. Both youngsters of the Nelsons were musicians. In reality, though, we said that. But his granddaughter, Tracy Nelson, mentioned in interviews the TV character was actually a lawyer who graduated from Rutgers University. So there you go. That's something you didn't know. We've talked about how Ozzie's business acumen led to when they moved to TV. He insisted that ABC give them a guaranteed 10-year no-cut contract, or at least that they would be paid for 10 years even if the show was canceled. Well, the radio show went back to 1943, 44. I'm operating off memory here. 43, 44, when Red Skelton went into the armed forces, Ozzie and Harriet developed their little show. And it ran until the early 50s, and then went to television in 1952 and stayed on TV until 1966. And that was the longest-running live-action sitcom in American history until it was surpassed by It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And still, 435 episodes of Ozzie and Harriet were produced on television. And the radio show was good. And eventually, as it did on television, the Nelson family was portrayed by all of the Nelsons. So there you go. Now, we're going to go back to April 25th, 1952, 73 years ago, as we hear an episode of The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet.
Hi, everybody. This is Harriet Nelson. Here's a word of advice to all mothers. Do you have trouble getting your boys to come to lunch on time? Well, here's something that works great at our house. David, Ricky, first call for lunch. We're having Heinz cream of tomato soup. Here we are, Mom. See what I mean?
It's good because it's Heinz. The H.J. Heinz Company, makers of 57 varieties of fine foods for over 80 years, present the amusing transcribed adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, starring the entire Nelson family, Ozzie, Harriet, David, and Ricky. look in at the Nelson household and see what they have on tap for us this week. I don't see Ozzie and Harriet anyplace, but there's David and Ricky. Now, David stretched out on the floor taking it easy, and Ricky seems to be reading the funnies to him.
Then in the last box, the captain says, "Und now gives a good spanking for pulling the inspector's beard."
And what is Rollo saying?
Ha, ha, ha.
Now read me Terry and the Pirates.
Oh, come on, David. Read them yourself.
Don't be so ungrateful. I used to read them to you, didn't I?
Yeah, but that was before I could read. Besides, I have to make out my report.
What report?
We have a club meeting tonight. I'm the treasurer.
Big deal. What do you need a treasurer for? You kids don't have any money.
That's how much you know about it.
How much you got in the treasury?
We got plenty, boy.
I'll bet.
We got it hid in a swell place, too, boy. You'll never find it.
Who wants it? Where is it?
You're not allowed to tell. It's a club secret.
Okay, who wants to know anyway?
It was my idea. It's a neat one, too, boy.
Oh, hiya, fellas.
Hi, Pop. Hiya, Pop. I might as well tell you, because you're going to find it out pretty soon anyway.
What's this?
Well, I'm treasurer of our club.
Big deal.
Oh, good for you.
I'm the only treasurer, too.
The only treasurer? How many presidents do you have?
8.
8 presidents?
Sure. And 6 vice presidents, 4 secretaries, and 2 ghoulies.
What are ghoulies?
Well, it's a thing we made up. When we got through with the election, there were 2 members that weren't elected to anything. So we made up that they were ghoulies.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Every member of the club's an officer, huh?
Yeah, but I'm the only treasurer.
Well, that's quite an honor.
Thanks, Pop.
I'd rather be a ghoulie.
I don't know about that, David. Being treasurer of a club's a big responsibility.
Oh, Pop.
Yes, it is. Shows that the other members of Ricky's club have a great deal of respect for him. Means that they trust him and consider him better qualified than anybody else for the responsibility of the position.
And besides, nobody else wanted the job.
Hey, you fellas had better hurry up.
Okay, Mom. Come on, moneybags.
Okay, David. Cut the shoving.
So long.
So long.
Bye, boys.
Goodbye, boys.
What was the big discussion about?
Rick was telling me about some club he's in. Seems they've elected him treasurer.
Oh, speaking of treasurer, I have to run downtown for a few things. Do you have any money?
Let's see.
You took $10 yesterday. Did you spend all of it, or don't you know?
Well, Harriet, I don't like the implications of that remark. I may act like I'm careless with money and look like I'm careless with money, and some people may think I'm careless with money. Do you know why?
Because you're careless with money?
No, because I've always got it figured out in my head. I don't have to keep figuring and adding all the time. I know just how much money I've got in my pocket right now.
I believe you. I wasn't...
No, go ahead. Ask me how much I've got in my pocket.
But I told you...
Go ahead, ask me.
How much money have you got in your pocket right now?
Thought you'd catch me, didn't you? Wait a second, I'll figure it out. 3 and 5, that's 8 and 10 and 20. Exactly 38 cents.
Is that all you have, 38 cents?
Yeah, there it is. 20, 30, 35, 37. No, that's right, I weighed myself.
37 cents left out of $10. What'd you buy, an automobile?
No, it so happens I can explain every penny.
No, I was only kidding.
No, wait a minute, I'd rather. Now, let's see. First I went to the garage and had the car filled up with gas. That was 3.5.
6.5 to go.
Then I met Thorny. That cost me about $1.50. 2 cheese sandwiches, 2 chocolate malteds, 2 pieces of pie, and the check was under my plate. I think I was framed.
That's 5.
Then I went down to the Emporium and bought a shirt. They were on sale. That was 3.5. After that, I stopped in at the hardware store to get a padlock for the garage. Oh, I got a flashlight that shines red and green. That's something we need.
Oh, desperately.
What did you say?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, I also found a set of wrenches for the car, and a box of magic crystals for the fireplace. They make the fire burn all different colors. It's quite an idea. All that came to about $4.
What about the padlock?
Well, I'll pick that up next time. Then I stopped at the drugstore on the way home, and I bought some toothpaste and a can of shoe polish and some magazines, which came to a little over $2. There, you figure it up.
I have. I've been writing it down. Altogether, you spent about $15.
All right. 15? No. You must have made a mistake. I only had $10 with me. Let's see.
Gasoline, 3.5. Thorny and the sandwiches, $1.50.
Yeah, that's 5.
Shirt at the Emporium, 3.5. After that, temptation at the hardware store, $4.
That's 12.5.
And $2 and something at the drugstore. That makes it about 15. Not bad for starting out with $10. You know, some clerk must have given you too much change.
Say, that's it. That's exactly what happened. The girl at the Emporium gave me $5 too much change when I bought the shirt.
How do you know?
Well, I remember now. I gave her a $5 bill, and she gave me change for a 10. She was very busy, and she was waiting on 2 or 3 customers at the same time.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. In fact, I remember looking at my wallet and thinking I had too much money at the time. How about that? Gave me change for a 10 instead of a 5.
Well, I'm going downtown now. Why don't you go with me, and you can stop in and return the $5.
Right now, you mean?
It'll save a trip later.
Well, okay. The only thing, though...
I know, it isn't easy. We just have to remember it isn't our money.
Yes, I realize that. It's just...
Just what?
Do you have $5?
I'm going to shop here at the Emporium and then go across the street. Do you want to wait for me?
No, that's okay. Why don't you go ahead and I'll see you at home later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
So she says to me, he's a swell guy, but he never wants to take me out. And I said, well, that's the trouble. Oh, just a second. What can I do for you, sir?
Wasn't there another girl working at this counter yesterday?
Oh, yes, that's Ingrid Mahoney. She isn't here anymore.
Oh. Well, I bought a shirt here yesterday, and she made a mistake.
All adjustments are made on the 3rd floor upstairs. So she says to me, what would you do?
Pardon me.
Yes?
Well, this Miss Mahoney made a mistake in the change.
I'm sorry, but all adjustments are made on the 3rd floor upstairs. So she says to me, what would you do if you were me? Here she's going steady with this fellow who won't take her out, and another fellow's dying to take her out. So what's she going to do?
Tell her to go upstairs.
I beg your pardon?
All adjustments are made on the 3rd floor.
How do you do, sir?
Oh, how do you do? Is this the adjustment office?
Yes, it is. Won't you sit down?
Oh, thank you.
Is there anything I can do for you?
My name is Nelson. I bought a shirt here yesterday, and the girl gave me the wrong change.
You're supposed to count your change before you leave the counter. There's a sign right there in black and white.
Well, yes, I know, but it happens I was in a hurry.
And we can't be responsible if you're in a hurry.
No, I only...
Now, let's be cool and practical about this, sir. How do you know you didn't make a mistake?
Well, I checked and double-checked.
Perhaps you were confused.
No, I wasn't confused. I don't get confused about things like that.
Then why didn't you read the sign? We can't go making good every time somebody says he was short-changed.
No, I wasn't short-changed. I got $5 too much.
You weren't confused. You don't get confused.
No.
Do you know what you just said?
What?
You said the girl gave you $5 too much.
Well, that's right. She did.
Now I'm confused. You say you got $5 too much?
Yes, that's right.
Then what's your complaint?
Well, I want to return the $5.
What's your racket, bud?
I haven't got any racket. I came in here to give you back the $5.
A likely story. Mr. Nelson, do you think I believe for one moment that any human being with a mentality higher than an orangutan would return money to a department store?
Now, look, I didn't come here to be called an orangutan. Here's your $5. Goodbye.
Come back here.
What?
Don't you dare leave that $5 bill on my desk.
But that's the $5 the girl gave me.
You can't leave it here. You can't.
But I just told you it's your $5.
I never admitted it. You haven't got any witnesses.
Look, all I want to do is give you this money and go home. Now, here's your $5.
Now, look, Mr. Nelson, you can't do this to me.
Do what to you?
Mr. Nelson, you look like a reasonable man. Try to see my side of it. The books are already balanced for yesterday. This $5 bill will throw them off. They'll be off for a month, for the semi-annual audit, for the yearly balance sheet. The auditors will be here at the end of the year, and here I am, unbalanced. They'll find out in a minute. You can't put anything over on those fellows. What'll I tell them? You can't leave that $5 here. You can't.
Oh, okay. If you feel that way about it, I'll keep the $5.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Nelson.
Not at all.
If there's ever anything I can do for you in return...
No, that's all right. Just forget it.
Oh, here's a calendar. And a courtesy card entitling you to an hour's free parking.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Nelson, it's been a pleasure to meet a man as understanding and accommodating as you.
Oh, that's perfectly all right.
And I hope you won't take it personally if I make a suggestion.
What's that?
Either count your change before you leave the counter or don't count it at all.
So I took the $5 and came home.
That's the silliest thing I ever heard of.
I argued with the man. I pleaded with him. After all, you can't force a man to accept money if he doesn't want to take it. He said it would mix up their accounting system. I even laid it on his desk, and he threw it right back at me. Oh, here. Here's a calendar he gave me.
But why didn't you give the $5 to the girl who made the mistake originally?
Oh, didn't I tell you? She doesn't work there anymore. This is kind of a cute calendar at that.
Isn't it a shame?
This November isn't bad. Imagine skiing in a costume like that.
Firing a girl just because she gave you the wrong change.
Oh, say, that never occurred to me. You think she was fired?
Well, she was there yesterday, and she gave you $5 too much change, and she's not working there today.
Oh, gee.
Poor girl.
Well, Harriet, it isn't my fault.
Oh, I know it. It's just a shame, that's all.
Hi, Pop. Hi, Mom.
Hello, boys.
Hello, boys.
Something wrong, Pop?
No, nothing really, David.
Well, some girl in a department store made a mistake and gave your father too much change, and she got fired for it.
Golly.
Poor girl.
Poor girl?
Poor girl.
Well, it wasn't my fault.
Well, of course not, dear. How could you help it?
Sure, how could you help it?
Why didn't you count your change?
I was in a hurry.
The girl probably had to make up the $5 and lost her job besides.
Well, Thornbury was telling me about a girl who lost her job last week and tried to jump in the river.
David, this just happened yesterday. What's everybody making such a big thing about this? It wasn't my fault, and I went back to the store and tried to straighten it out. Now, let's all forget about it.
Can we go out, Pop?
Certainly, go ahead.
Hey, David?
Yeah?
Let's go down the river and watch.
And now let's see what's going on with Ozzie and Harriet. As we rejoin them, Ozzie's out in the backyard, staring into space, when along comes neighbor Thornberry.
Hi, Oz.
Oh, hello, Thorny.
What are you so worried about? You look as if you'd lost your last friend.
Honestly, Thorny, I can get in... No, you wouldn't be interested.
Oh, come on, Oz. Cut it out. You know I'm always interested in anything.
It all started when I went down to the Emporium to buy a couple of shirts. There's a salesgirl who waited on me.
Just a minute, Oz. Maybe it's best that you don't tell me.
Well, you asked me to tell you, so now you're going to hear it whether you like it or not.
Okay, Oz, go ahead. You were saying this beautiful salesgirl waited on you.
Yes, this beautiful Now, wait a minute. I didn't say that. Anyway, I bought a white shirt, and this girl gave me $5 too much change. I don't know why I didn't catch the mistake at the time,
I understand, Oz. You don't have to explain.
Understand what?
Fight it, Oz, old boy.
Fight what?
This mad infatuation.
Look, Thorny. All I did was go in and buy a white shirt.
It's very obvious. You don't have to explain to me. There's a bit of the mad beast in every man, but you've just got to fight it.
Oh, for goodness.
Did you read this month's Cosmopolitan?
No, I didn't.
Well, maybe it was last month's. Anyway, there was a story there, and the parallel is amazing.
Look, Thorny.
Fight it, Oz.
I don't want to fight it. The whole thing is ridiculous.
Did Harriet suggest that you find out the girl's name and give back the $5?
No, she didn't.
There you are.
Where am I?
Well, she understands. She sees the danger. Oz, we got to face it. Ever since the beginning of time, women have had intuition about these things. Now, you take this story I was reading in the American Weekly.
No, it was Cosmopolitan.
No, this was a different one. It seems there was this girl and this man...
Now, Thorny, wait a minute, will you please? Before you change the subject, you really think that Harriet might be a little, you really think so?
Well, if she didn't, wouldn't she be the first to suggest that you find out where this girl lives and take the money over to her? Well, she'd come right out and say...
Ozzie?
Yes?
Oh, hello, Thorny. Ozzie, I've just been thinking this thing over. Why don't you find out where this girl lives and take the money over to her?
Well, that's a wonderful idea, Harriet. Only thing is you just set women's intuition back 2,000 years.
I can't understand it.
Well, don't look so disappointed, Thorny. Fight it, old boy. Fight it. Pardon me.
Oh, what can I do for you, sir?
Well, there was a girl working here yesterday named Ingrid Mahoney.
Yes?
Well, could you give me her name and address?
Her name and address?
Oh, I have her name, but I want her address.
Say, weren't you the same fellow who was here this morning asking about Ingrid?
Oh, yes, I am.
Well, it may interest you to know she's going steady.
Well, I don't care about that.
Gee, a regular caveman.
All I want is Ingrid Mahoney's address.
Why is it as soon as a girl goes steady, all the fellas get interested in her?
Well, I don't know, but that isn't what I have in mind.
You can find lots of girls who aren't going steady. I'm not going steady.
I'm afraid you misunderstand. You see, I'm already married.
Oh. Do you by chance ever read Cosmopolitan magazine?
Yes. No, I'm familiar with the story you're talking about, but really, I'm here on strictly a business matter.
Oh, darn. Why is it every wolf I meet turns out to be a Cocker Spaniel?
Would you please listen to me for a moment? I bought a shirt here yesterday.
Well, the adjustment department...
I've already been upstairs to the adjustment department. All I want now is to find out where this girl lives so I can give her back the $5. It's as simple as all that.
Oh, yes, I see.
Good.
But if I were you, sir, I'd stick to the caveman line. It works much better with us girls.
See, that's a good idea. Listen, babe. You got Ingrid Mahoney's address?
Oh, yes, sir.
Give it to me.
Yes, sir. 25 Chestnut Street.
Thanks. So long, Toots.
Hyman, you're so big and strong. That's why I love you, Hyman.
Say you love me again, Ingrid.
I love you, Hyman.
Say it again.
I love you, Hyman.
Say it again.
I love you, Hyman.
I don't believe it.
Hyman, believe me,
I do.
Look, if I ever catch any other guy looking at you, I will tear him in half like this.
Hyman, not another telephone book.
You see, I love you more than anything. Honest, I do.
Well, I'm very flattered to be sure, but I wish you would control your jealousy, Hyman. It's getting to be very embarrassing.
I can't help being jealous of you. You know that, Ingrid. If only I could submerge my physical side. But it's no use. When I see another man interested in you, I just go...
Hyman, please, not the classified. Oh, Hyman.
Who could that be?
Quite sure I don't know. Come in, the door is open.
I beg your pardon. Is Miss Ingrid Mahone... Oh, there you are.
Ingrid, what is the meaning of this?
Honest, Hyman, I never seen him before.
Oh, yes, don't you remember me from the store yesterday? The 33 sleeve, 16 neck?
Down, Hyman. This man is a stranger.
Well, yes, in a way, but don't you remember at the store yesterday, I gave you a $5, and you evidently gave me change for a $10. Weren't you $5 short in your accounts?
I was no such a thing.
Are you sure?
Well, naturally I'm sure. And now, if you don't mind, you have made Hyman cry.
Now, please believe me, Herman. I tell you, she was just another girl to me.
She was?
Oh, of course. It's just that to you she seems so irresistible.
You sure?
Oh, of course. To other men, she's just an ordinary girl like thousands of... Miss Mahoney!
Ingrid!
Miss Mahoney! Ow, please! Yeah?
Well, what happened?
Well, I couldn't force the $5 on her. She says she doesn't remember me and she doesn't know anything about any shortage.
Well, that's funny. How could $5 mysteriously pop into your wallet? Ozzie, what's that under your arm?
It's a box of candy for you.
Oh, thank you, dear.
Yeah, I had to chase all over town to find one that cost exactly $5. I figured it's $5 found money, and I might as well blow it in on my best girlfriend.
What a lovely thought, dear. Oh, soft centers. Isn't that lucky? Your favorite kind.
Oh, they're good, too.
Oh, yes. Ricky told me to remind you that his club is meeting here today. Are you a member or something?
Oh, no. You know how kids are. If it's important to him, he thinks it's important to everybody. I think I'll try one of those long ones now.
Oh, there you are, Pa.
Oh, hello, Rick. Here, have some candy.
Gee, thanks, Pa.
Oh, these candies are good. Oh, what is it, son?
Do you have your wallet in your pocket?
Oh, yes, I do. Why?
Remember I told you I was the club treasurer?
Yeah. What about it?
We have $5 in the treasury, and I put it in your wallet so I wouldn't lose it. Can I have it back now?
You better go up and filibuster your club for a while. Your dad's trying to cough up $5.
Well, Rick, we sure got that $5 just in time, didn't we?
We sure did. The fellows were getting tired listening to me stalling them off.
Well, you see, that shows you what resourcefulness can do. I don't like to brag, but when your old dad's up against it, you can usually depend upon him to figure out some way.
Hey!
What's that?
Oh, it's only David. I guess he just found out what happened to his piggy bank.
Company and starring Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Hilliard.
And remember, Heinz soups are condensed. You get twice as much soup by adding an equal part of milk or water.
That suits me fine.
Me too. I like a lot, boy.
Appearing in support of Ozzie and Harriet were their two sons, David and Ricky Nelson, John Brown, Sarah Berner, Sheldon Leonard, Paula Winslow, Frank Nelson, and yours truly, Vern Smith. Original music was composed and conducted by Billy May.
So long, folks. This is Ozzie saying goodnight for the 4 Nelsons and the 57 varieties.
Before they became the All-American Family, Ozzie Nelson was a band leader, and Harriet Hilliard, Harriet Nelson, was the singer for the band. And did you know that Harriet actually did sing on the show? Well, not during the original run. Harriet did sing on an Ozzie and Harriet Christmas special in 1981, and she sang. So there you go. I thought you might find that interesting. Alrighty, coming up tomorrow again on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we'll have the Aldrich Family, My Son Jeep, Fibber McGee and Molly, My Friend Irma, and Can You Imagine That? By the way, coming up next week, we're going to have a 1-hour George and Gracie special from 1946. We'll tell you about that when we get a little closer. Well, we've got lots of good stuff coming up in the week ahead. Episodes of The Mysterious Traveler, The Sealed Book, Calling All Cars, The Saint, Boston Blackie, I Was a Communist for the FBI, Father Knows Best, Screen Director's Playhouse, and even more. So keep it right here. We'll be up with more next week here on Classic Radio Theater. No, we're not done yet. We've got Peg Lynch and Alan Munt standing by as the couple next door.
This is Groucho Marx. A few days ago, I was talking with the Director of Civil Defense, and he told me some things that I feel everyone should know. That's why I'm speaking to you now. Did you know, for example, that your chances of surviving an atom bomb attack are excellent? It's true, but there's a big if. You must do everything possible now to help yourself and your family. Nobody else will help you. Listen, because this is important. Keep a complete first aid kit handy. Keep a closed container of drinking water in your refrigerator, enough for 3 days. Be sure you have a good fire extinguisher. Take a look around your house right now and pick out the safest spot, away from windows and doors. Make sure that every member of your family understands he is to rush to that safe spot when there's danger. I'm convinced that these precautions are necessary right now, and I hope I can convince you. They're important to your family, yourself, and your community.
Should have brought that out a little earlier next to Groucho's show. Anyway, I forgot the other day that we had mentioned this, and I knew it, and I'd forgotten about it, that Alan Bunce was the second person to play Peg Lynch's spouse on first The Private Lives of Ethel and Albert, which is when they first got together. Before that, it was played by actor Richard Widmark. And then Widmark gave the cast absolutely no notice, said, I've got a play starting next week. I'm leaving. This is my last show. And so they really quickly had to get somebody, and Alan Bunce came along, and they lasted together in one form or another until Bunce's death. So there you go. The Couple Next Door, a 15-minute show, revival, if you will, of The Private Lives of Ethel and Albert. This is from 65 years ago, April 25th, 1960.
CBS Radio brings you The Couple Next Door, written by Peg Lynch and starring Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce.
Oh, honey, I think somebody's knocking at the back door. Dear? Oh, I thought you were out here in the kitchen.
I am. Be quiet. Shh. Keep still.
What's the matter?
It's the milkman. I left a note for him. All he has to do is leave the milk.
Milkman?
I don't intend to cope with Mr. Riley's bright remarks this morning. We've had enough from everybody else all weekend. I just keep quiet.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's leaving. Stand back from the window.
I think we better move. We better get a job in some other town. I've never lived through such an idiotic or embarrassing 2 days, really.
Well, at least you can stay home. Take the phone off the hook. I got to get downtown and put up with all the razzing I'll get from everybody in the office. all my pals at lunch. Well, all this time we didn't know we were rubbing elbows with a descendant of Leif Erikson.
Poor thing.
Look, I'm not even the one with any Norwegian ancestry. That's you. All right, let's have breakfast. This my orange juice?
Well, I've never made any such fantastic claims. I was only trying to explain the Vikings to Betsy by mentioning my Norwegian grandfather, for goodness sakes.
You said she was descended from the Vikings.
I didn't. You're the one who did. Betsy said, you mean Leif Erikson was my great-great-great-great-grandfather something, and you said yes?
Well, for Pete's sakes, I was just being funny. I never thought
Well,
that
it didn't look so funny in the paper. Honestly, every time I
Look, if
think
you
of
had
that
kept an
paper coming
eye
out,
on Betsy, instead of letting that reporter get to her...
I was cleaning the linen closet. If you hadn't taken her out of school, this whole thing would never have gotten so involved. That was the
all right,
worst
Sarah, look,
move.
Let's stop blaming each other. What do you say? If you hadn't done this, if I hadn't said that, I mean, it's both our faults, let's face it.
No, I'm sorry, dear. Actually, I guess I started it, really,
Yeah,
but
stop
I just...
worrying now. Look, we'll try to live it down. Betsy's going back to school today, and when we talked to the teacher and principal yesterday, they were really very nice about the whole thing, so...
I guess they felt sorry for us.
Yeah.
Goodness, all the commotion we raised, and in the end, we had to give up anyhow. In fact, the only thing that came out of all this is that Betsy got her picture in the paper, and now she thinks she's a celebrity, which is great.
Well, cheer up. The worst is over, except for the razzing I'll take downtown today. But I guess I'll live through it. Hello, Mr. Crenshaw. Well, didn't even know you were back from New York, for goodness sakes, until Miss Gordon said you were here and wanted to see me.
Yeah, come in. Sit down, Piper.
Yes.
Close the door, if you will.
I thought when you left the office last Wednesday, you were going to be in New York 2 weeks.
Well, the people I wanted to see were out of town, so I decided to go again next month. I got in late last night on the midnight plane.
Well, sir, it's nice to have you back. Oh, we got the Linwell-Carter contract signed last Friday. Jack and I were out with Linwell all day.
Yes, very good, very good. I was wondering about that.
Well, a few details I'd like to talk over with you, Mr. Crenshaw. For example, Linwell seems to feel he can't promise delivery.
Yes. Well, we'll go into all that later, Piper. I'd like to know about a little something else here. Mrs. Crenshaw was a little disturbed over something she saw on the front page of the paper Friday.
Yes. Well, it's just that...
Well, she showed it to me at breakfast this morning, and, I said I'd ask you about it.
Yes. Well, it's all been settled, Mr. Crenshaw. I mean, it's just one of those things, that kind of boomeranged out of nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just all rather silly.
Silly?
Yeah, well, look, Mr. Crenshaw, you don't want to hear the whole thing, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. I'd rather like to hear the whole thing, Piper.
Oh. Well, all right, briefly, you see, because I had read a story to Betsy, my daughter, about Leif Erikson discovering America, well, that is the answer she put down on a test in school, and instead of Columbus...
Yes?
Well, then the teacher marked her wrong, you see, and her classmates laughed at her, and, well, Betsy came home in tears and said her mother and I didn't know anything, or words to that effect. Well, my wife and I felt that we had to make some issue out of it with the school, or Betsy would never again believe anything that we said. You see what I mean? And then the next day, my wife saw the teacher, and the teacher said we'd better see the principal, which I did, and, well, that's when I took Betsy out of school.
You took Betsy out of school?
Yes. Well, I'm sorry to say the newspapers got wind of the matter, and when I refused to see the reporter, he sneaked into the yard and questioned Betsy when she was out playing and took a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Then the reporter wrote it up in what I guess he thought was a very amusing style.
Yes. Well, if I recall, it was captioned, Leif Erikson's descendants live here.
Well... Yeah, boy, have we been razzed all weekend.
And I think Betsy was quoted as saying, my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, Leif Erikson, discovered America. And it's true, because my daddy said so.
Yeah, well, Betsy got a little muddled when my wife was trying to explain the Vikings and her Norwegian ancestry. I mean, you know how children get things mixed up and...
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, it's all settled now, Mr. Crenshaw. You see, we talked to the teacher and the principal over the weekend, and they were both very nice, as a matter of fact. And the teacher is going to explain to Betsy's class today... Well, I don't know what she's going to say exactly, but something so that Betsy will realize that her parents do know something. You know, that we're not complete dunces.
Well, Piper, I wish somebody would explain something to me so I know you're not a complete dunce.
What?
What are you trying to do? Run me out of business?
Well, no, Pete's sakes, I mean, this has got nothing to do with your business.
Nothing to do with it. I'm supposed to be a reputable businessman. I'm supposed to have intelligent employees helping me run that business. Instead of that, it comes out on the front page of the local newspaper for everybody in town to see that my general foreign sales manager is apparently a nincompoop who doesn't even know who discovered America.
No. Just a minute, Mr. Crenshaw. I explained...
a college graduate. Well, I didn't even go to college. I'm a self-made man, and I'm proud of it. What did you take up in college? All this highfalutin psychology, I suppose.
Now, sir, this has nothing to do with what I studied in college. Now, you look here, Mr. Crenshaw. The issue at stake had nothing to do with who really I mean, well, it did. Yeah, it did in a way, but the point my wife and I were trying to make...
Well, the point I'm making is what's going to happen if they get wind of this in Italy.
What?
We're in the import-export business.
Yes, I think I'm aware of that, Mr. Crenshaw. I can't see what that has to do with...
Christopher Columbus was Italian. Or didn't they teach you that...
Yes, for Pete's sake, I know that, but that still doesn't have anything...
We import Venetian glass and lace from Venice. We import Florentine silver, coral jewelry from Naples. I sent you there last year to do it. You were my representative. You personally met every one of our Italian clients, to whom Columbus is as much a national hero as he is here in America.
Oh, for the love of Mike, Mr. Crenshaw.
We cannot afford to offend anybody.
But I didn't say anything against Columbus. I don't deny that it is generally accepted that Columbus discovered America, but really, I mean, forgive me for saying so, but this is ridiculous to worry about any such...
Oh, it is?
Well, yes. Look, Mr. Crenshaw, to begin with, how in blazes would anybody in Italy ever hear of some trivial so-called human interest story in some small local newspaper? I mean, really.
Is that so? Well, let me tell you something, young man. This is just the type of so-called human interest story that some other newspaper guy would love to get his teeth into. Just to be funny, if nothing else. So he wings it to overseas. Perhaps embellishes on it. So it appears in a paper in Genoa, where Columbus was born.
Oh, I don't...
Descendants of Leif Erikson appeal to Congress to repudiate Columbus.
Oh, appeal to Congress? That is without doubt the most absurd.
Piper, did you ever read a newspaper account of yourself?
Well, yes. Friday I was mentioned, you might say, in Betsy's interview.
All right. But what it said weren't quite the facts, were they?
Well, the facts are there, but the way the guy wrote it up makes them sound different. I mean, I guess he was sore because I wouldn't talk to him. I mean, we didn't want any publicity.
So he made a good story out of it. Somebody else might pick this up for his newspaper and make an even better story out of it. It isn't what they say. It's what they don't say. Now, I don't want any repercussions in any Italian newspapers.
Now, look, Mr. Crenshaw, forgive me, but you are making a mountain out of nothing here.
We cannot afford to jeopardize our business affairs, to say nothing of international relations.
International relations?
Many a trivial remark has caused a break in diplomatic relations. Well, one of the pharaohs of Egypt declared war on Crete because one of them said his wife's nose was too long. Now, I want you to call the newspaper. Say you want to make a retraction.
Retraction of what?
I want you to say this whole thing was just a harmless joke. That actually you really believe Columbus did discover America.
Oh, but Mr. Crenshaw, to begin with, I never said anything against Columbus. No, I won't do any such thing.
Well, Piper, I don't want to be a hard man. I'll give you a few days to think it over. But I have my business to consider. And it's either that or Well, I'll have to ask you for your resignation.
And then Crenshaw says it's either that or I'll have to ask you for your resignation.
Oh, really? Well, why would he say that?
Because he apparently thinks I'm about to start World War III.
Oh, don't joke about things like
I'm
that.
not joking. I'm not joking. You should have heard him. He said some Egyptian pharaoh declared war on Crete because one of them said his wife's nose was too long.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard that. Which dynasty was that? Middle or late? Well, I mean, the Middle Dynasty would have started around 1500 V.C. I don't remember any war between
I don't care.
Egypt
I don't
and Crete
know.
at that
Look,
point.
the point is, wouldn't I look fine? Wouldn't I look fine calling up the newspaper and saying I would like them to print that I do believe that Columbus discovered America?
Yeah,
now?
yeah, now, just calm down. Just calm down. You can't do that, dear. You just can't.
I can't do that.
Well, I remember back home, some friends of mother's had a 25th wedding anniversary, and the paper wrote it up and said champagne was served, and the woman was furious. They demanded a retraction, and a few days later the paper came out, and there was just this one little item. It said correction in huge letters, which attracted your attention. Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so did not serve champagne at their 25th wedding anniversary Monday night.
Oh, well, any retraction by me would look just as ridiculous.
Of course, it would call attention, look even more absurd. Oh, now stop worrying about it. You'll get over it. Oh, listen. Betsy said the teacher talked to the class, and she said how lucky Betsy was to have such a wonderful father who read her stories and explained things to her. And then teacher told everybody that the Vikings were wonderful men who probably did come to America first, but they didn't write it down the way they should have. You know, the way Columbus did.
Huh?
So she said that the only reason we know they were here is through something called sagas, which are stories and songs. I mean, she told them all about it, you know.
Fine.
Betsy will tell you more about it at dinner.
Yeah.
Now wash up and stop worrying, honey.
Well, all right. All's well that ends well, I guess, except with Daddy.
Oh, now look, we accomplished one thing we wanted. Your daughter realizes now that you're very smart.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure am. Smart as a whip.
This is National YWCA Week. There's no more opportune time to visit your local YWCA building. They're expecting you. And once you know how much your local Y has to offer, you'll want to join. Some 1,600 communities boast local YWCAs, where members participate in public affairs, social events, classes for betterment, sports, and many enjoy high housing standards. Visit your YWCA this week, and you'll see many reasons to heed its slogan. Look ahead with the YWCA. Join. The Couple Next Door stars Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce.
Accepted truths are not always the real truth, and that's what part of that points out. 65 years ago, April 25th, 1960, Peg Lynch, Alan Bunce, The Couple Next Door, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage at classicradio.stream, and we'll see you tomorrow for more Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.